Hello there. Hello. Welcome to the the Random Show, not the Agostinho Show. Whoops, wrong show. Right person. Welcome to the Random Show episode number 132. Welcome back to the Random Show episode number 132 with I, your host, Agostinho Zinga, and I hope you are doing well. Let me put this light on. There we go, extra bit of light. What's going on? Random Show episode number 132 with I, your host, Agostinho Zinga, and I hope you are doing good wherever you guys may be. I hope you are doing absolutely swimmingly, as I am. I went on a nice little run this evening. Unfortunately, didn't have fucking time to record it on my phone, so it doesn't really count really. But hey, kind of is what it is. I ran to the new fucking Len, which I recommend you check out. This album called Legoland, but this artist called Len that I'm absolutely obsessed with. UK artist is doing really big things. Check it out there on my screen if you can kind of see it there. Can you see it a little bit? It's called Legoland, spelled Lehgland, but I'll do a full review of that on my main show, the Agostinho Zinga Show. But on this show, we're just gonna hee about comedy stuff. So yeah, ran to that, came back, made myself a nice green shake really late at night because there's nothing else better to do than to have a green shake instead of chomping on some fucking Kinder Buenos. And yeah, got a little nice what do you call it? Got a nice little 3-week challenge I'm gonna do. It's a 3-week fitness challenge because I saw this guy on Twitter do this really funny viral post, which I think is fake. It could be fake, don't get me wrong, but essentially the post that he put up was his transformation body wise from like week 1 to week 3, and it was crazy because all the girls in the comments were basically saying, oh, it's so annoying how guys can basically fix up their diet, work out for 3 times a week, and they can drastically change their body quicker than women can, which I'm not too sure if it's true because I think girls also have the ability to go down a lot of dress sizes if they do get their diet fixed up and stuff, because you know girls dress sizes can be a little bit mad. But I'm going to try and give it a go for the next 3 weeks, especially seeing as I've got some stuff happening at the end of the month that I would like to look a little bit more trim for. So the plan is to flipping smash out the flipping working out, the work, you know, the gym stuff, the running stuff, the usual shit that I do, and then see where I'm at by the end of the month. So that will be what? The 31st of flipping August. We're going to do a little reveal and we're going to do a little before and after and see what I go on. So you will see that happening in the entire month. So if you see me drinking anything else other than green juices, you know I've gone off the wagon. If you see me not streaming as regular, you know I've gone off the wagon. But the plan is to bang it out for the month of August and see how far I can get along, and then hopefully be able to tick off one of my New Year's resolutions, because those New Year's resolutions are looking a bit crazy on my end. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking a bit crazy, looking a bit wild. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Hopefully everybody's fine, you're all locking in and tuning in. Pleasure to really have you here, not gonna lie. As per usual, talking about the stuff that we talk about. Many things to go in on. What we're gonna speak about today. Oh yeah, that's it. We've got many things to talk about, actually. Too many things to mention. So before we begin, let me actually quickly get this up on my phone, make sure everything's working before I just start here. Please forgive me for the delay, but this time I did start on time, so I'm pretty sure they'll give me some little bit of, you know, brownie points for some of you guys who think I'm an absolute joke ting. Let me see if I can load it up. Yeah, cool, everything's working on my end, so it's all work good. Yep, big up Gallon Jesus Christ, thank you for joining me, I appreciate you. Big up everybody else tuning in, I appreciate you too. So first of all, to go in, I just randomly watched this video from account, what's the account called? I think you should check it out if you haven't watched it yet. The account is called The Internet Anarchist, and it's a documentary on the streamer LTG, right? Low Tier God. Most of you know who he is, and I've kept a brief eye on him from afar because obviously I love locals like DSP and Wings of Redemption. I don't love them, I kind of despise them, but it's nice to kind of watch them from afar and just laugh at their flipping inability to be human, especially Wings of Redemption, right? He's a classic case of a loser. So whenever I'm feeling down about myself, that I'm not working hard enough, I'm not chasing my dreams enough, I'm not working out enough, I'm not reading enough, I'm not doing enough language learning, I go to fucking Wings of Redemption's you know, many troll channels, and I just watch some clips on like Breaking Banquet or Wings Things and whatever, Wings 007, and then I can feel much better about myself. So, and then DSP is just, you know, a deplorable human being. I think we would all kind of learn something in our lives if we just try to never be like DSP. DSP is legitimately, Darks, I feel, one of the worst humans I've ever seen on the internet. So it's nice to just kind of be aware that that kind of level of like awfulness exists out there. So I like watching these fucking locals, right? So I know who Low Tier God is, but I just keep an eye on him from afar because it's a little bit, you know, there's only so many locals you can keep in your head. I don't really check out that Amber Lynn girl either. I'm just a bit, you know, whatever. But the last time I remember peaking LTG, he got banned from everything. I remember he got like officially banned from like Twitch and shit. And I remember the discourse on social, or the discourse on YouTube, was that he was getting away with a lot of stuff he was getting away with, despite him doxing people, saying crazy shit to people online and whatnot, being threatening, bloody blah blah blah. People were saying he was getting away with it a lot because he was black. So kind of like, you know, they didn't want to, you know, be too harsh on a black creator, so they kind of were treating him with kids gloves. But eventually he did get kicked off everything, and I think the last time I saw him was when he was on Rumble or something. But I haven't watched this YouTube documentary. It's called The Most Hated Twitch Streamer, by the channel called the Internet Anarchist. I didn't know that he actually has done a bit of a U-turn. So he made a little bit of a U-turn. I think he got interviewed by that guy Gideon, that a guy that does the pranks and whatnot, and he kind of sat him down for an interview and I guess took some sense into him. And now I guess finally Low Tier God is being somewhat chill, like he's not being as toxic as he once was. I didn't know that. I honestly thought Low Tier God was just kind of, you know, beyond reproach, beyond saving. But maybe Low Tier God's kind of turnaround is like hope for everybody. Maybe it puts hope in the hearts of the guys like, you know, the DSPs and out there. Maybe they could turn it around too. I don't think so personally, but oh, people are saying no. Alex is saying no, he's literally the same. Okay, that documentary made it seem like he changed. Honestly, I watched the documentary just early today before I started the stream. I was like, rah, man, Low Tier God was fucking toxic as hell. I found a bit with flipping Kai Cenat really embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. Like him trying to become Kai Cenat's friend and trying to give him the gifted subs to come on stream with him, and Kai Cenat essentially ducking him and saying, nah, no thank you. I found that kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, when everybody, I found the Kai Cenat, this is a weird example, I found a Kai Cenat not wanting to be seen on stream with Low Tier God. I find it similar to when, I don't know if you've seen this before, but if you guys been at work, like a regular 9 to 5, and somebody from your job gets fired, like, you know, they're getting fired, or you see them get fired as they're leaving, it almost feels like everybody treats them like they got leprosy. They all kind of, you know, you do it sometimes without even thinking. You kind of turn around, you avoid eye contact, you keep your face on the screen, you pretend you're fiddling with the clothes, you pretend you're cleaning the plates and shit. You don't want to look at them. I feel like that's what happened to LTG when he tried to link up with Kai Cenat. Like, they treated him like he just got fired or something. They didn't want to touch him because he might be radioactive. Like, he might, you know, he might get some of his fired unemployed juice on them or something. It was so sad. And so I was like, fuck, man, your fellow black brothers, you know, your fellow black content creators out here are looking at you thinking, nah, we're wild, but you're way too wild. You're too much for us. We can't be seen in the same place as you. So I kind of felt bad for him in that regard. But hey, it is what it is. Here we are in it. But check it out if you haven't already. It's a really good channel, Internet Anarchist. And I also watched one about flipping Andrew Tate also. That was pretty entertaining and pretty, you know, there's a lot of information there. Eddie D says LTG has been fucking with DSP lately. Yeah, no, I've seen that, Eddie D. I've seen all that LTG and DSP stuff. If anything, DSP was the one clout chasing LTG. It was kind of embarrassing. He was basically saying, oh, if you don't respond to me, then you're my bitch. No, if you don't play me, you're my bitch, or something. Like, DSP is fucking awful. But DSP is pretty transparent. You can tell when he's panicking about money. So I think DSP's numbers or his views or something for this month or maybe the previous month aren't great, or maybe his members, and he's panicking. So that's why he's trying to create drama. He's doing the whole GTA thing at the moment, trying to use that as a game to kind of bring back viewers and whatnot. He always does this. Whenever he's kind of worried about money, he just frantically tries to do something to kind of revive his channel and get some eyes back onto what he's doing. And he tried to do the whole LTG thing, and it was just really, really, really obvious, really cringe, really, to be honest. I don't really understand why he did that. So yeah, fuck DSP, man. He's one of my he's one of the guys I absolutely despise in this internet thing. I don't hate many people because I think hate is a weird emotion, but DSP is very, very hateful. It's very hateable. hateful. Sorry, it's very, very hateable. That's what I was gonna say. There's something about DSP that it just makes it hard to like that guy, man. But you know, what can you do? What can you do? Anyways, hopefully you're all well in the chat and you're enjoying what you see. We're gonna crack right on with the show. Number one thing to crack on with, I thought this was an interesting clip that was uploaded on the Fire and the Kids subreddit, because I feel like this kind of gives us an insight into why Brendan has these weird kind of beliefs that he does, like in terms of, oh, I don't believe in drinking in water and all that sort of nonsense. This is a clip taken from a recent interview that Rogan had with Gad Sad, and Gad Sad, number one, is looking really good. He's clearly lost a lot of weight, but the funny thing about it is that Joe Rogan's got the same opinion as Brendan about drinking fucking coffee as a replacement for drinking water. So the idea behind it is that all hydration is good hydration. You don't have to specifically drink water, which is fucking wild. But this is a clip here taken from the episode, and this maybe is a reason why Brendan has this weird obsession with only drinking fucking coffee and never drinking water, even as a former athlete and shit. It's absolutely wild. So let's play this clip now.
We go on a 30-minute conversation.
Yeah, but this is like a good drug. Like caffeine is right. Like there's whatever bad effects you get from coffee, they're so minimal. There's even like links to like good health benefits from it.
Yeah.
I think there's worry. People used to worry about dehydration, but I don't think they worry about that as much anymore when it comes to drinking coffee. They used to think that if you drank a lot of coffee, you would get dehydrated, but there's a certain amount of hydration you're actually getting from drinking coffee too. So it's like kind of complicated because it is kind of a diuretic, but it also like you're also drinking it.
So that
I wish somebody would just say to him, "What about drinking piss then? Why don't you drink your own piss?" I'd wish someone just said that to him. How about drinking your own fucking urine? I'm sure Rogan's tried it because he's one of those type of dudes, right? Anything for longevity to keep him looking ripped and lean and shit. But that's absolutely crazy thing to say. Even if there wasn't any evidence to support the drinking of water or the drinking of coffee, just the feeling alone of a hot summer's day, coming into your house or having somebody hand you a glass of cold water, getting a bottle of cold water from the fridge, all of those things should be enough of an emotion, should be enough, sorry, of a feeling for you to flipping want to drink water. That taste of having your thirst quenched with a nice glass of water, nothing else in it, is absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I do feel a little bit bad for people because I was the same. I mentioned it before. I kind of grew up in a household when I was really young where my parents used to buy me and my brothers like bottles of fucking orangeade, lemonade and Coca-Cola, but not even Coca-Cola, like cola shit, which is even worse, right? So like cola from like Aldi and shit. My mom would, because you know, we were flipping free boys kind of growing a shit and we didn't have much money, so she'd buy us like massive 2-liter bottles of like cola, orangeade and fucking lemonade, and we drank that for the majority of our, you know, youth when we were kids and shit. So I'm kind of happy that even though we did that, for some reason, I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was my mum did it on, you know, on purpose, or if it was us in general, we wanted to change our habits. But somewhere along the line, we kind of, as a house, stopped buying soda, and then we started drinking water. And then from then on, I've developed a taste for water. I developed a fucking habit of always drinking water, and I don't really drink fizzy drinks anymore at all. If the only time I really drink fizzy drinks is if I'm either hungover, I like a good glass of orange juice for some reason. I love to buy orange juice with bits in it. And then I also like to drink fizzy drinks, maybe with a mixer if I'm drinking some alcohol, right? If I've got some vodka or some whatever, I might have some, you know, of soda with that. But I rarely buy a soda to drink on its own. And I'm thankful for that because I know, having looked at for some people like Wings of Redemption, how difficult it is clearly to fucking kick a sugar habit. Like sugar seems to be one of those fucking things that seems to be even harder to kick than flipping Class A drugs. That's how crazy it seems to some people, because some people say, like, you know, they fucking quit chocolate and they start getting headaches and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, sugar is wild. So I'm lucky, really fortunate that we kind of killed drinking soda when I was at home, when I was living back at home. I killed that before I kind of stepped out into adulthood, because I'd hate to be those people now, you know, because I saw some guy actually on social media, some black guy, I think in America, who was choking drinking water. Like he never drinks water, and his friends were trying to make him drink a whole bottle full of water, like a gallon or something, and this guy was legitimately throwing up at the taste of water because he's never used to drinking it. I would hate to be that adult that doesn't find water tasty. Like, even I think Brendan Schaub's wife said something like that recently, you know, that she never drank water. I don't know. Like, people like that, your breath must smell wild if you're only drinking fizzy drinks. Like, I can't imagine how that makes any sort of sense. It's such a bizarre thing in my head. But hey, everybody's different. But one thing you realize also over time is that I think it's an age thing as well. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know if you guys and gals in the chat can agree with me here. I'm pretty much still a Rogan fan. I love watching his podcast. I think still, bang for buck, Rogan still has the best one out there in terms of randomly chucking it on and seeing somebody that you don't really know about talking some really good, interesting shit, right? The recent episode now with Joe Rogan, I think there's one with the country singer Zach Bryan, I think, right? I don't know much about him. I've heard a few tunes of his here and there, but I don't really know much about Zach the person, right? So I still think Joe Rogan's podcast, bang for buck, is still the best because I can clock into that Zach Bryan show and find out a little bit more about him, right? So it's kind of, you know, so I wouldn't have listened to him if it wasn't for Joe Rogan. But I found that with age, the older that I've got, the less I listen to Joe Rogan for like life advice. Like I just don't pay it no mind because he's just talking out of his ass for the most part, and it's just stuff coming from his own personal opinion that's very biased and it's only for a particular prism. But I think when I was younger, I was listening to Joe Rogan. He was like sort of like not even a mentor. Like you kind of trusted what he said about life. You kind of took it to heart. Like, yeah, Rogan said this, Rogan said that. But now I just completely phase that stuff out and just focus on the stuff I want to listen to. Like, you know, he maybe wants to make me laugh, he wants to tell me something funny or interesting he saw on social media, some whatever else he wants to talk about. But I don't really listen to him for the life advice stuff because it's just not the one. So I'm never going to sit here and listen to Rogan and think, oh yeah, Rogan doesn't drink water, so I'm not going to drink water. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to skip over that and just continue with the episode. I don't know if it's an age thing. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know if that is a thing. Yeah, people are saying, well, you're growing out of it. Yeah, exactly. 7:30. Maybe that is a thing. Same bro said Cloud K20. Casey Shift said I like Rogan, but only watch if he's a guest I like. Yeah, you know what I do actually, Casey. I do the opposite of that. I actually usually tune into Rogan when it's somebody I don't know because I feel like those are the best ones. Like for the most part, if it's Rogan with a comedian, I just skip it for the most part. Especially if it's a comedian that especially if it's a comedian that Rogan knows, or it's a comedian that isn't that well known. Because if they're not that well known, they're gonna start licking Rogan's ass because they're happy they got on the show. And if a comedian that Rogan knows, it's gonna turn into a, you know, there's only 1,000 of them conversation. It's gonna become one of those fucking circle jerks. But I found Joe Rogan episodes are always the best when it's somebody you don't actually know. Those are always the best ones, in my opinion. I love those episodes. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? Either way, I'm happy over time that I'm not taking everything to heart and I'm not taking everything too seriously because, fuck, you know, imagine listening to Rogan now and he's telling you not to drink water. Like, don't drink water. Do not drink it. Only drink flipping, only drink flipping, only drink coffee. Coffee only all day. Age effing. Dude's a health nut, but looks... Yeah, that's the thing also I've noticed, Jordan Ray. Thank you said that. Jordan Ray said, dude's a health nut, but looks shit for his age. I never noticed that. And I guess now that I'm older and I'm seeing stuff and whatever, I'm noticing more how I wouldn't want to look like Joe Rogan. Like, don't get me wrong. Body-wise, for somebody his age, he looks amazing. But then at what cost? Because his face looks fucking wild. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the issue at hand. Like, he doesn't actually, you know... It's not the peak physical conditioning you would have wanted in the past, but I still think Rogan's influence is incredible because I think I genuinely wouldn't have got into the UFC if it wasn't for Rogan because I started watching Rogan before I started watching the UFC, that kind of thing. I kind of got into it through him. I did jiu-jitsu for the first time because of Rogan. I did Muay Thai because of Rogan for the first time. You know, like I got introduced to fucking David Goggins because of David Goggins because of Rogan. No, I think David Goggins might have been because of Tim Ferriss. I'm not too sure. One or the other. No, David Goggins was Rogan, and I got introduced to Jocko Willink through Tim Ferriss. So if it wasn't for Tim, it's a funny thing, isn't it? Two white men really taught me a lot. Two very, very white men taught me a lot in my life. Joe Rogan and Tim Ferriss, they played a really influential part in my fucking upbringing and worldview. Rogan and fucking Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss on the aspect of like the 4-hour work week, like it got me thinking about, you know, working in a way where I wasn't only exchanging my time for money, because I think before reading the 4-hour work week, I never knew there was such a thing as like being able to, like, you know, have a side hustle that could essentially, you can maybe work on for maybe 4 hours a week, quote unquote, and then have the rest of the time to do the things that you love, because that's what the 4 hour work week was all about. You know, it kind of got a bad rap because of the name. It's kind of a marketing gimmick which worked really well, the 4 hour work week, but the whole premise behind it was, hey, let's get you a flipping side hustle, a business that you can do that only requires you to do 4 hours of work per week, that can cover your basic kind of needs, and then the rest of the time you can do the things that you actually want to do. So you can actually go learn a language, learn salsa, learn martial arts, blah blah blah. And I think the idea behind it also was to kind of lower your expenses. So I think Tim Ferriss, that book, advises people, encourages people to go and live somewhere where the, you know, the cost of living is cheap, so you can get more out of your money. The first time I got introduced to the idea of like remote assistants, because there's that thing a lot right on Fiverr and whatever maybe, where you can hire virtual assistants that can, like, you know, organize your calendar and whatever it may be, all that sort of stuff. So that was all really important. And Rogan came in and was more so the whole like chasing after your dream, being the hero of your own story, martial arts, you know, perfecting your craft. Because one thing about Rogan that I've always loved is that even though I don't think he's funny at all, I think Rogan, this is a weird thing to say, but I think Rogan is a far better example, or no, is a far better person for like a young comedian to kind of look at as somebody to kind of emulate, because he's not funny, but he kind of willed himself into being funny and being a comedian. If you understand what I mean. Like Rogan was, I don't think, never naturally meant to be a stand-up comedian personally. Maybe a sketch comic, cool, but to be on a comedy, you know, not gonna happen. So I think he actually forced himself into being a comedian through just pure effort, pure hard work. So I think most people should look at him as an example, as opposed to looking like a Kevin Hart or like a flipping Dave Chappelle or Dave Attell or Lucy Kay. Those guys are just naturally from birth like funny and witty. But I think Rogan had to kind of practice to get funny. So I think you could apply Rogan's kind of methodology of working hard, because he always talks about how much he writes, how much he goes up on stage. Like he clearly works a lot. Like he essentially built his own comedy club so he could have somewhere to go work, you know, without interruption. So clearly he shows that work ethic is what kind of, or as Brendan says, that work ethnic is what got him where he's got to. So that sort of stuff should be more motivating for most people, because he's more similar to most people. He's not that funny, but you know, he got there through pure will and effort. But again, what do I know? What do I know? Enough of me slobbering on fucking Joe Rogan's fucking schlong, innit? Why did that turn into, eh? Where did that come from? There was me just going full fucking ham, putting my hair back in the ponytail and fucking schlonging. You know what I mean? Going all fucking sloppy toppy on Rogan there for a little bit. Ugh. You guys should stop me in the chat. I don't know why you let me go on like that for so long. Okay, Rogan, that good sloppy toppy, like, ugh, I feel disgusted. Bloody hell, you should have stopped me, man. You chat guys should have fucking stopped me. Should have said, Ag, chill out, man. Stop sucking him off. You guys it's you guys' fault. I'm gonna blame you guys. Anyway, good form. Jay's a fucking evil person. Uche's an evil person. That's what she is. Uche is a bona fide evil person. I tell you this. Anyway, moving on from this. I also want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to. Oh, come on! Don't bloody. There we go. Not that one. I want to give a shout out. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? There we go. I want to give a shout out to this channel. Please check it out. It's called Hectic First Channel, and I've checked out a few of their videos before, and I like it. I like what they're doing. They do some good stuff. I like what they're doing. He puts together these videos kind of like live streams, but they're all kind of edited in clips and stuff, with some kind of, you know, roundup news of the stuff that you see on the Reddit or on other bits and pieces in terms of the BAPA'S and extended universe. So check out this channel called Hectic First Channel. I really do like it. Actually, I'm not subscribed. Okay, let me click that. Subscribe. There we go. Boom. So yeah, check it out if you haven't already. Really good little channel there. Loads of videos you can check out from them. This is their channel over here to give you an idea of what they do. And I just stumbled across it recently, actually, and I like what I'm seeing so far. We need more of these kind of, you know, of this kind of stuff that I do out there. We need more kind of voices, more people kind of throwing their 2 pence out there. You know what I kind of want to see? Oh, really? I didn't know that. Really, I had no idea it comes in the chat. Okay, good to see. Good to know. You know what I want to see, actually? I know this sounds weird. You know what I want to see? I would love to see a fucking pro Brendan Schaub channel or something. You know how we got like Joke World? You know how Joke World is like the positive channel, right? Joke World's fucking amazing, but you know, it's like the positive channel. It's fucking awesome. If you want to go get your news and what's released and shit, he does a fucking amazing job, right? The little kind of news style thing that he does, right? He's so fucking adorable. I fucking love that guy. He does really good work. But I want to see a pro Brendan channel. I would love to see that, like just one where they talk glowingly, like the opposite of like what's that channel, 10 Minutes of Schaub. You know, those two guys, right? Like the opposite of that, where they just sit there instead of like laughing at what Brendan says on stream like I do and they do, maybe they just like defend him, you know? I'd love to see that. I think it's important to have that contrast because yeah, it's like, imagine the opposite of Red Bar. That's what we need. Yeah, so forget the 10 Minute Schaub. We need the opposite of Red Bar. We need somebody that just goes through all the comedians and just starts sucking them off. Like, oh my God, did you see what Mark Norman did? Did you see that car that Andrew Schultz was driving? Oh, did you see what Rogan said the other day? Did you see what Bill Burr said? That would be fucking sick. I want that. I want to see that so badly. Like, I want to see that so badly. And it doesn't make any sense, but I want to see it. I've actually got could I do that? Could I do that as a could that be a troll? Or does that mean? Could I do that as a troll and just have a channel where it's just like non-stop positivity? How do you do that? I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, you know what would be possible actually? You just do the opposite of what everyone else is saying. So wherever TFATK post, you just try and spin it in like a funny way. You know, like I don't know. There's something there. There's something in there. I want to see it. It'll be because we need those voices. We need just like a change. It can't just be all fucking, you know, Brendan sucks, Brendan sucks, Brendan sucks. There needs to be some people saying, hey, I don't mind Brendan sucks. You guys are being overboard. Leave him alone. He's not that bad. Like that would be pretty cool. I think. I wouldn't mind that, to be fair. But anyway, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. It doesn't make any sense, but I would like to see that. I really would like to see it. But anyway, in the short term, please check out Hectic First channel. Subscribe to them. They're cool. They're good. I like what they're doing out here. And yeah, man. Hopefully he does a live stream soon. But I think so far it's just mostly edited videos. That kind of the same thing I do, just kind of editing them and making them a little bit more, you know, a little bit more palatable than the stuff that I do sometimes. It's a bit ranty and rambly, but check out Hectic channel, really good. I've enjoyed it from the stuff that I've seen so far. Moving on from that, we got to play this clip. Please, let's got to play this clip. What? Oh, you do see suck him up already. Okay, I'll stop. Suck him up already, you know. You guys are fucking evil. Anyway, suck him up already. Come on, man, hurry up. He's gonna bust. Oh, okay. Let's go. Not be silly. So, cracking on. This clip is fucking amazing. Right? Because I'm not too sure where I stand on this. Right? Let me give you the fucking overview. There's a group of people on the subreddit, the TFATK subreddit, who believe that Brendan will sometimes book people for the Calabasas fight companion, knowing full well they're not going to come. So he'll use their name and their likeness for promo on the flyer and to get people to be to look forward to the fucking thing and tune in. But then he knows they're not going to arrive. And because the industry is the way it is, I guess it's like an unspoken rule that no one really minds what you do to get eyes on your shit because it's so hard to compete out there. So no one really complains. So that's what some of them think, because a lot of the times that Brendan does of Calabasas fight companions, a lot of the guests, maybe one, maybe two, will cancel last minute, and it seems to happen all the time. And some people have surmised that he probably does pay people to come, so they know they're clearly turning it down because they don't want to be on there, even with the incentive of money. I'm not too sure on that. I just don't know if that's true. I have a feeling because LA is full of people, full of jokers. I think personally that people just flake because LA is full of people that flake. I have a feeling that if I spoke to somebody, even somebody who wasn't involved in the entertainment industry, they would tell me just in general that, you know, to make friends in LA is pretty difficult, and generally, you know, to make appointments and to hang out with people is hard because everybody's kind of looking for the next best thing. Similar to London. London's the same sort of vibe. Here in London, is the same sort of vibe in whatever scene you're in. Everybody's a little bit like, you know, everybody's clicked up, and if you try to, you know, infiltrate into a friendship group or try to meet people outside of where they want to be in a cool place, it's kind of hard to do so. So I'm not too sure where I stand. Is Brendan booking these people knowing they're not going to turn up, or is he booking them and they're agreeing and then they're flaking him last minute? Who knows? But anyway, this clip is taken from the Find the Kids subreddit, and it's called Emergency at the Crib, and it features Brendan at the beginning of the recent Fight Companion explaining why CHITO VERA from the UFC wasn't able to turn up to the Fight Companion because he was meant to be there. It was meant to be CHITO, Bradley Martin, and that Ben Davis kid, but he didn't show up. So Brendan's trying to explain why he didn't show up, and then there's a clip at the end that kind of, you know, disputes what Brendan said. So let's play the clip.
I didn't acknowledge Cheeto's not here. Cheeto had an emergency at the crib. I don't want to give too much away, but it was an issue. He would have got here late. I'm like, dude, be with your family.
So, as you can see, Brendan said there's an emergency at the crib, and then later on that day, CHITO uploaded a picture of him and his partner riding on an e-bike or an e-scooter somewhere in their neighborhood, having a fucking blast in the sunny weather, him whistling, having a whale of a time. So what do you think happened? Do you think CHITO agreed to come on the fucking Fight Companion, or did he lie to Brendan about his emergency at home? Like, what's going on here? I'm not too sure, because this is fucked up, because when you have a regular job, especially nowadays in the age of social media, the first rule of having a regular job, when you call in sick, never post on social. If you call in sick at work, you go ghost on all your social media platforms. You don't like anything. You don't post on your Instagram stories. You just browse. You don't like anything. You don't comment. You do nothing. You don't retweet. So it's interesting that he would cancel on Brendan because of the family emergency, but then he's on an e-scooter, e-bike with his partner, Mrs., having a great time in the afternoon, enjoying the sunny weather. What do you think happened here? The sunny weather. If you exactly. Take a piece of my accent. Thank you. Social media fucked up his lie. Yeah, exactly. Everyone clowning sure. I don't know what happened. I'm not too sure what I can say. I'm not too sure what I believe. But I have a feeling, because it's LA, I think CHITO might live near LA, I guess, because that's how he's doing the show. I've got a feeling he's also contaminated that virus where you just flake on people when you can't bother to go. So I think most likely he just flaked and just changed his mind. But I don't think Brendan lied about it. That's my honest opinion on it. SCHAUB can't tell the truth about anything. Okay, cool. People are saying he's not really. The emergency involved posting. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, his daughter's special needs. Okay, cool. So maybe he did have an issue at the time, but then things changed, and then he went out. Maybe, I don't know. I just think it's a bit poor taste, really, isn't it? If you did promise to do something with somebody, and then you cancel, but then you post on social media like you're having the best time of your life, it's just a little bit poor taste. That's the only thing I'd say. It's the only issue I'd have with it. But, you know, who knows? I just find it wild how many times he's lied about this shit. Nah, he lied. He probably mentioned it to him, but he knew he wasn't going to come. Okay. Dem Doids though says that. SCHAUB can't tell the truth. Okay, cool. I'm curious. Yeah, I don't know. Was that Thief Keith says, I'm curious why SCHAUB even mentions that people have cancelled. What is there for him to gain for not delivering? Yeah, me too. I don't know. I've said this before myself. I don't even know why he mentions it if they do cancel. I don't know why he goes out of his way to mention the guests. Just let them come be special guests. If they arrive, but have like a solid base of a crew. Like I personally think it should always be Brendan and that Ben Davis kid. It should be a permanent guest, or the permanent host on the Calabasas Fight Companion, and then have it be special guest, you know, all the time, and it rotates all the time. That would be pretty cool to see that, and it'll be like a surprise on the day. And then if they don't appear, you just pretend like it was just gonna be you and the other guy. But you know, I don't know. Maybe Brendan's a bit strange, or maybe he doesn't think that Ben guy is cool enough to hang out with him by himself. I don't know. It's strange, but who knows? That was that story. we move on from that one, and we need to speak about obviously the Calabasas fight companion stuff. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, exactly. Casey said, yeah, Ben Davis brought a lot of energy. Yeah, I liked him, man. Some people didn't like him, but I thought he was good. In terms of all the guests that Brennan's ever had on and chemistry and shit, I think that kid was good. And also think about it, that kid is like a up and coming content creator. He's kind of making a name for himself being a fucking MMA guy. So it's important for him to be on that show. Like, he's not going to flake as much as everybody else because he actually needs it. He needs the exposure. So I think that dynamic and that balance is actually pretty beneficial for everybody there, personally. Yeah, exactly. Him and Turtleneck dude. That's what everyone's calling him, Toad. I love it. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. Bradley Martin asks Brendan. Yeah, This is what I want to see. So this clip is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, as fucking Brendan would say. How do you say? Interesting, right? As Brendan would say. This is pretty interesting. Let me load up the flipping clip for you here. It's on 43:45. There we go. Over here. Okay. We got it. Cool. This again for me is interesting because for Brendan, it does demonstrate probably part of his issues with people online is that for some reason he doesn't understand why he's not liked. You know, he doesn't get it in the slightest. And I personally think that's part of the issue because I think there are people online who aren't well liked, but they have an understanding of why they're not well liked, but they don't care, right? Or they lean into it a little bit. I think that's one of the first steps of kind of using your unlikability or your divisiveness, yeah, like ability or, you know, traits to your advantage is to kind of get why people don't like you, but then also lean into it. I think that's really important. For Brendan, he's never done that. He's always kind of, you know, acted as if like he's a, you know, beast of a dad, beast of a guy. I'm a great guy. I'm a great guy. Great guy. Obviously not. So in this clip, this is super interesting because in this clip, he definitely does show you he has no understanding, no comprehension of why nobody might not like him. And I think this is one of the main reasons why he's in the position that he's in. That lack of kind of understanding of it in any way, shape or form is really bizarre. The lack of self-awareness is fucking shocking. So let's play this clip, right? Bradley Martin asks Brendan on the show, why do you think people don't like you, basically? Why do people give you a hard time? And Brendan's response is fucking baffling, really, to be completely honest. Absolutely baffling. I'm going to play the clip for you now. You get an idea what I mean.
Which is massive in MMA. It's like, geez, why do it?
I was just reading chat, and they said you look more jacked than recently. Have you been doing something different?
Hitting the waist, baby.
I had a Whopper with my brother.
Okay. Does that make? Have you been training
We're
more?
Whoppenheimers.
Have you been doing like? Have you been training more?
Nah, just living, bro.
Hey, he's getting back into it.
I swim a lot. I ride my bike more than anything.
Yeah, well, they say you look more jacked. So.
I'll take it, dude.
Yeah,
thanks.
that's
Thanks,
fucking,
fellas.
Yeah. They're good. They're nice in the chat.
Are they? Because usually like, he's jacked but gay. They're not nice to me, dude. Please quit. Yeah, don't tell me anymore.
No, I won't. I just. It's
he's
funny.
lying every comment.
No,
like,
he's like, no, dude, they like you.
Yeah, they love you, dude.
No, he's gotten 7 death threats.
Why do you think people like to talk shit about you?
About me?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do a lot of shows. A lot of the audience was introduced for me on The Ultimate Fighter, where I was a cocky fighter, which you got to be when you fight. Fair. So for them, it's tough. If you're put in a box, it's tough for them to separate that. So if they've been following me since The Ultimate Fighter UFC days, when I thought I was going to win every fight and knock everybody out. That's how you got to be as a fighter. Yeah. So he's arrogant. No, I'm not. It was a job. And then you transition where most fighters stop. You know, once they stop fighting, they go on to open a gym or do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I went into something completely different. Started going comedy podcasting. Yeah. Now you're gonna stand up. It's just not natural. So it's and I do a lot of content for people to hate on. Yeah. And I have a lot of opinions. That's why I have a successful podcast. I have a lot of opinions. So a lot of people fuck with it. A lot of people don't. But either way, you're talking about it.
Yeah. So clearly for me, I think this is delusion beyond belief. Because if I'm not mistaken, the majority of the goodwill Brendan got when he first started to fighting the kid was because of his personality on fighting the kid. Like, people forgot about the UFC Ultimate Fighter thing really quickly. he's acting as if like this persona and this personality he had in the UFC has carried over all the way through. That's not true at all, because the Friday Night Subreddit is a good example of it. That place started off as a fan, spot for people to basically talk about how much they love the fucking podcast, myself included. Over time, the problem with him is that his actual personality away from the UFC, just being a regular human and doing what he does, is what turned people off. The lying, the cheating, the stealing, the fucking, the ego, the lack of, the thin skinness and all this other stuff, the issues with other comedians, the stories, whatever, all that shit is definitely what people don't like about him. But for some reason, he has no understanding of it whatsoever. And the end bit that he says about having loads of opinions, that's why people don't like him. I actually would like it if Brendan did have more opinions. He actually doesn't say anything. He actually doesn't have opinions or anything, because he's kind of like caught in this weird place where he does this weird kind of like flirtation with the right. It feels like sometimes he kind of wants to be a little bit of a right-wing blowhard, a little bit of a, contrarian in some things, but he's obviously too redacted to actually form a coherent opinion he has to stand behind, and he's also a bit scared of getting actually cancelled, so he does these kind of like flirtatious kind of little things to kind of dip his toes in, right? Like recently he's been blurting out, try that in my town, right after that fucking country song that everybody's getting their knickers over and twist with, and he's kind of just saying that the way he used to say Trump 2020, right? He's not really saying anything. So I would actually prefer if Brendan did say things, but he doesn't say anything because he just doesn't have, probably the mental capacity to do so. So he's caught in this weird place where he's trying to put himself as I'm cancelled, I'm getting shadow banned guy, but you don't say anything interesting. You don't say anything controversial at all. So how can you get cancelled for just, making shitty jokes on a podcast? It makes no sense. But I find that lack of understanding of why people don't like you to be one of the most unfortunate things about Brendan's sort of demise over the years. That's kind of what kind of fucked him over. That lack of understanding that, hey, some of us are laughing at you. We're not laughing with you, but use that to your advantage. He, for some reason, fundamentally cannot understand why anybody would laugh at him. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't get it at all. Zero. It doesn't make sense. Only recently he started to accept that some people might not think he's funny. For the most part, he actually did think he was actually funny. So his delusion is like on another level. Like, and also, the lack of understanding of like some people out there could just not like him because they feel like he's been given his career on a fucking silver platter by Joe Rogan. He doesn't think that's an issue either. Like all these little tiny things are strange. And even just the flipping, the aligning yourself with the Crystalias and the Brian Callens after the allegations, like there's so many things that he's done over the years that people could say, hey, I don't like you for that, but in his head it doesn't comprehend. It has to be because he used to be in the UFC and he was cocky. And also that is a fake as well, because there's plenty of fighters in the UFC who are not cocky. I'm just thinking about it in my head straight away. Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje aren't really cocky fighters, and they got further in their career. He's got this idea in his head that everybody has to play a heel. Everybody has to be this WWE character to kind of get forward in life. And maybe the actual reality of it is that he's not willing to accept that when he was in the UFC, that was actually part of his personality. Maybe he was acting cocky, but that was actually who he actually was. And he's trying to shed away from it by pretending that it was all a prank, it was all a persona sort of thing. But it's a really strange thing to kind of put your hat on, to say that people only don't like you because of your UFC thing, when the UFC thing has been many, many years past, and you've done many things since then that people could say they don't like you for. But that delusion, unfortunately, in the reality of things, being that delusional for Brendan is what's also helped him to become successful. Like he's so delusional, he doesn't get why people don't like him, but that's also part of the reason why he's still successful despite being terrible at everything that he does for the most part, right? From hosting to doing podcasts to being a good guest to being a good listener, a good conversationalist, a good interviewer, like all the stuff he does terribly, but he's also, kind of, what's that thing called? Persevered. Because of that delusion, he just keeps on getting up. Like, doesn't matter how many documentaries come out about him, how much, his specials get rated as a fucking -0 or whatever maybe, he just keeps on keeping on. He just goes. So that's part of actually his kind of actual success going forward. So it's a bit of a two-sided coin. But hey, what can you do? What are you guys saying in the chat about me? He's probably going to try to say the same shit as Skankfest. Yeah, he can't. If he does say that as Skankfest, it's going to be insane. He shouldn't say that as Skankfest, honestly. Hope he doesn't, because, somebody could easily say in the crowd, hey, like, I don't like you because you tried to fucking walk Annie Liederman into a truck. Or I don't like you because you tried to fuck Bobby Lee's girlfriend at the time. Like, those are already things that people could not like him for. Let alone the fucking story about throwing the guy through the fucking glass window and then not being willing to accept that maybe you were the douche in that fucking scenario. You know what I mean? All these things are things that people could not like. And also, think about it, I'll play it later on, but I think the COVID thing, honestly, I think the COVID thing was a big turnoff. Because I remember for me, when I used to check the sub, people were really when I was checking the sub a lot back then, especially during the lockdown, people were so pissed off. They were so pissed off at their fucking behavior when it came to COVID and lockdown. Like, they were the first comedians to go on tour and to kind of just act like it didn't exist. They got COVID 17 million times. They probably spread it a bunch of times so they could do their shitty shows. Do you know what I mean? It really turned people off how they were acting around COVID. So that COVID response and how they acted around it could be easily one of the reasons why people could be like, you know what, we're done with you for life. Especially if you had people in your family die during the COVID lockdown, and here are these guys going to the ha-ha, you know what I mean, in fucking Arkansas somewhere to perform to fucking 6 people behind screens. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? But anyway, what can you do? SCHAUB won't make it to Skankfest. Yes, he will. He'll be there. He'll be there. He'll be there 100%. SCHAUB's going to be there. Brendan SCHAUB should go to Skankfest. 100% should go to Skankfest. If he doesn't go to Skankfest, he's a fucking idiot. He actually needs Skankfest more than they need him. That Skankfest is a free opportunity to kind of rewrite the narrative, as Brendan would say. It's a free opportunity. It's a free hit. If he goes there and does a good job, he's a good sport, he's willing to get laughed at and shit, he's going to have so many fans, he's going to have so much goodwill around him. If he just goes there and subjects himself to getting ripped into pieces and whatever it may be, he's gonna come out of it really well. So Brendan would be stupid if he doesn't go. He has to go to Skankfest. He must go. If he wants to really end the year well and have some goodwill around his name between now and the end of the year, he needs to go to Skankfest. Please, he needs to go to Skankfest. I beg of him to go to Skankfest. He needs to go. He must go. He must go. If he doesn't go, it's a real big fucking, stain on his freaking thing. But knowing Brendan and how much he cancels, it won't be surprised me if he does end up not going. You know what I mean? Moving on from that one, let's go here. Let's go here. What is it saying? Mega fan, we need a bit more energy, AZ. What more energy do you want, brother? It's 2 a.m. in the morning. You want me to start screaming? We need more energy, brother. You're talking to me like I'm fucking one of those basketball players, right? Sharp and dribble, like Laura Ingram. Come on, man. Stream and scream. We're not all the same, brother. Not all of us black streamers always kind of scream and shit. You know what I mean? Some of us maybe have kind of, varying levels of energy depending on what that time of the day it is. Fucking hell. Dance, nigga, dance. You want me to start Harlem shaking on here and shit? Oh, mate, honestly, this fucking chat. Anyway, let's move. One last poster thing you talk about is this one. This one features Brendan and Bradley talking, and Brendan kind of admits, or not kind of, basically admits that his teeth are fucked. And this might have to do with the nicotine pouches. It might have to do with his fucking Food Truck Diaries diet. But either way, it's pretty gross. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty gross. So let's hear Brendan SCHAUB on the state of his oral hygiene. Pause. Or activated. No pause. Oral. Palacio. Let's go.
Yeah, like a bazooki.
Oh, I love
Oh, yeah, dude.
That hit.
Yes, bro.
Bazooki slap, bro.
My
It's so
fucking
You talking about from
favorite.
BJ's
Yes,
pizza?
man.
Yeah,
BJ's
dog.
is different, bro.
Fuck, the
It's the
bazooki
only
is
thing
so
they do
good.
right. Their pizza's trash.
Just warm cookies and ice cream, man. It's so good.
Yeah, I love that
Fuck
combo
up.
myself. I can't eat
So
anymore because I have bad teeth, but fuck yeah.
But you could eat fucking burgers and shit.
If the
Slam
ketchup
down
hits
a
my
couple.
teeth right, it's a nightmare.
What happens to
Game
your
over.
teeth?
Anything with sugar in it ruins my teeth.
What's from that? What caused that?
Nicotine.
That'll do it.
It's
the
wearing my
patches?
teeth out. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to use like a super sensitive toothpaste and shit.
Sensodyne?
Yeah.
You are that guy.
No, but I have the medical grade though.
Damn, that's sensitive?
It's so insane.
Wow.
Yeah. It started because I started using that charcoal toothpaste because someone told me it's
Yeah,
better
charcoal's
for
good.
me.
Charcoal's alright.
It's not though, because it's not fluoride in it, so
I
your
guess
the
that's fair.
enamel on your teeth wear out.
Damn.
I got problems.
Yeah,
bro.
you do have problems.
Yeah.
I'm
You
actually
should-
surprised at how many stimulants and shit you've talked about using is insane to me.
Oh yeah.
Do you,
It's actually impressive.
how about
Thanks,
like
dude.
veneers, man? Just like replace them all. You know what I'm saying?
I
The
thought
Darren
about
Till
it. You ever looked
approach.
at how much the veneers are, man?
Oh, well, it depends on where you are, man.
You can
like
go somewhere and get.
that's what I'm saying. You can get some cheap ass veneers.
I'm not trying to go to Tijuana and get veneers though,
no, but you can get them.
because they shave down your teeth and shit.
You can get them. I'll hook you up.
Oh,
I don't
really?
have them, but I know places that do. Because I had looked into doing it, and then I was like,
I feel like I get roasted though if I
You
show up
would,
and I just got
100%.
fucking
Just gleaming.
curlies.
you're
Yeah,
100.
straight up.
You
Yeah,
are.
don't do it.
You are 100% getting roasted for that. But
Not-
like, who cares?
But also,
You get roasted for
Try
everything.
but also your boy's
try-
fine now.
Try
Yeah,
and
who
get
gives a
Brendan
fuck?
to do
Your
it.
boy's fine
Who
now.
cares, man? You should totally do it.
I just show up and don't say anything. I just got a set of fucking
Got the bat signal,
choppers
bro.
on me.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
fucking
everyone's talking shit.
yeah,
100%.
like Matt Dillon from fucking Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is pretty crazy, man. This is pretty crazy. I think it's pretty despicable to be somebody that makes as much money as Brendan does, has a schedule where you can make your own hours, you know, whatever it may be, access to all the best dental people in fucking the world, probably over in LA, all the cosmetic surgery you have, and to have your teeth be in that state where that you legitimately can't eat sweets and you can't have ketchup and shit. The worrying thing for me is that similar to Brendan's alcoholism, right? What's really sad about this is that if you're a fan of The Fire and the Kid, if you used to be a fan of The Fire and the Kid, you'll know there was a time where Brendan used to brag about not drinking. He kind of used to say, without saying, the fact that he doesn't drink, and he kind of approaches comedy like an athlete, and he goes up there and goes up to clubs and does sets and reps. That's why he got so further in his career in a short space of time and was able to sell out more before other comedians, right? Then he suddenly switched and started to drink alcohol, started to drink whiskey and shit, because I think from what I remember, it's another Rogan thing, because Rogan used to say on his show he'd have maybe a shot or a beer before he goes on stage. He doesn't really drink that much, but that's when he kind of get a bit buzzed, a bit loose. So he copied Rogan, started drinking whiskey a bunch, right? And you started to drink whiskey, in my opinion, of what I remember, I think only a few years ago. So he only started to drink whiskey, let's say in his mid-30s. So it's been 5 years or so of him drinking alcohol, and that turned him into a fucking alcoholic, right? 5 years or so. And it's only been, what, let's say maybe less time than that, maybe 3 years that he's been doing the fucking nicotine pouches. So clearly he's been doing nicotine patches for maybe 3 years or maybe more. And he somehow in 3 years developed such an issue with the nicotine patches that now his teeth are rotting or something, or they become too sensitive. Like, how excessive do you have to go? How excessive do you have to go? Honestly. Yeah, exactly. I can't trust a grown man that has a weakness to involving condiments. Exactly. You throw a fucking ketchup packet at him and he starts screaming. Yeah. Honestly, like, imagine being a person, right, that you only start doing something for 3 years and then suddenly it becomes an issue where you have to quit it, to that point where you can't do it anymore. That goes to show that I wonder if that's like I wonder, for you guys in the chat who are a bit more clued up than me, I wonder if that's like an indication that he has addict tendencies. Because to only drink alcohol, to go from being completely sober and not drinking to then start drinking in your mid-30s and it becoming an issue is weird to me. But I wonder if that's like an addict thing, because he gets into something and he just like gets into it super hard. You know, he heard about nicotine pouches being good for your brain and helping with CTE, and he suddenly started fucking stuffing all of them in his fucking mouth. Do you know what I mean? It's so fucking weird. I find it so it's almost infantile, you know, that level of excitement. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you get all obsessed with one thing. You're obsessed with fucking being a fireman. Then you're obsessed with being an astronaut. Then you're obsessed with fucking learning how to backflip. Then you're obsessed with fucking ants. You know what I mean? You just get obsessed with something really, you know, intensely when you're a kid, and then you jump off something else. I think Brendan's got the same sort of tendencies. It's really odd. But it kind of is bad that he kind of got to a stage where his teeth are getting to a point where he cannot consume ketchup. Do you know how fucking crazy that is? And it's wild because Brendan's definitely one of those type of dudes who eats his steak with ketchup. So he's probably suffering because he can't dip his fucking well-done steaks into a bit of ketchup. That's probably why he's really crying, right? His well-done steaks with those fucking horrible slices of American cheese on top that look awful. He can't dip that shit into ketchup anymore, so it's fucking killing him. But I would love to know if that was either that or if it's to do with the Food Truck Diaries. maybe those meals at Food Truck Diaries, because Food Truck Diaries is funny because I've always said Food Truck Diaries is one of Brendan's best shows, but he kind of fucks it up by not doing a lot of research and not being a good interviewer and interrupting his guests too much and rambling and having it filmed inside of a car park outside of his fucking office. It's just a weird thing, but I think the premise of it is pretty good, like getting food with a fucking UFC fighter outside of a food truck. If it was up to me and I was doing production, I would personally do the Food Truck Diaries in a busy place. Like I would actually go to like, you know those, I think there's a place in LA, I forgot where it is, but there's a place somewhere like downtown LA where all these kind of food trucks park during a day, some day in the week, and they, there's like a place where like a little food truck kind of festival market type of thing. If it was up to me, I'd film the show then on those occasions, and then kind of have the fighters around people, film some B-roll of the fighters taking pictures with fans and shit, and then film it in that kind of way with all the hustle and bustle around you. Not have a food truck come outside of your fucking office complex and just park it by the side of the road and have the traffic and the fucking office leaves around you. It just seems weird. But it'll be funny if in those short space of years, right, Brendan somehow managed in the time that Food Truck Diaries has been around, from just consuming too much food, he fucked up his teeth. Because if you watch that show, unlike other shows that people eat on, usually they use the food as a prop. It's not like a place where you actually munch, right? But Brendan actually eats that Food Truck Diary food. Like he tucks in, he's fucking gobbling that shit in his mouth. So maybe all those years of actually eating all the meals from Food Truck Diaries and never actually just using it as a, as a, what you call it, as a site location to film shit, has fucked him up. But it probably makes a lot of sense, right? Like imagine he drinks Coca-Cola all the time, he doesn't drink water, he eats Food Truck Diaries, like food all the time, nicotine pouches and patches, whatever they're called, and fucking whiskey. That's definitely gonna fuck your teeth. Okay, dirty match. Sugar is everything he's full of. Yeah, exactly. Sugar's all of it, just all sugar. Papi used to stop his face to them lobster rolls. Yeah, exactly, Cloud. He used to fucking eat those lobster rolls. He used to eat them. Like, that's the thing that used to fascinate me, is that, bro, this shows are meant, you're not meant to be eating. You're meant to be using the food as like a thing to kind of, to distract the person's eye, to, I don't know, whatever. It's not meant to be just like you pounding the fucking food, but hey, what do you know? But yeah, Brendan's teeth are fucked up. Hopefully he gets that sorted out. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. We have to kind of wait and see on that one. Moving on. Let's talk about this. This is a clip courtesy of the Fire the Kid sub. Let's get this going. This one is the future is not so bright for Papa's up and coming events. Let's see what this one's about. Let's play this. The future is not so bright. Let's play this, see what this is saying.
I'm at Skankfest in Las Vegas. That's right. Skankfest, Las Vegas, September 29th through October 1st. Get you some.
No comedians think Brendan Schaub's funny. It's boring to say that at this point.
And then next weekend, I'll be joining Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, and Brian Callen for a fight companion on JRE for our boy Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font. That's a fight night.
I'll be at Cap Cities in Austin.
Little Thick Bird might be there too.
I know. I want to try to sneak. When is the companion though? When are we?
During fight times.
I know.
During fight hours, bro.
We're gonna do
7
prelims earlier.
Nah. You're gonna miss it.
Damn it.
Austin, I will be with Brian for Saturday, right? Because I'm gonna companion your pussy and now.
Yep.
Then Phoenix, Arizona, 2 shows, one night, Friday night, August 11th. Hopefully it's not burning hot. Phoenix, Arizona, we do not like Brendan. Yeah. You've sold 7 tickets.
Oh my God.
I wonder what's gonna happen, man. What do you guys think was gonna happen? Do you think that fight companion is gonna happen with on JRE with Brendan and no Brian? So it's gonna be Brendan, Brian. No, it's gonna be Brendan, Joe, and Eddie Bravo. I wonder. Some people are suggesting it's going to get cancelled last minute, but I wonder if it's actually going to happen. Brendan, Eddie Bravo, and Rogan only. No Brian. Interesting one to do. And it's also, it's a fight night, right? It's not even a pay-per-view or anything. So it's an interesting fight card for Rogan to want to do a companion for. Last time he cancelled pretty close to the date. I think last time he cancelled like a week before or something, right? Or maybe a couple of days before, because Jamie had to go on some golf tournament or whatever it may be. And he actually did, I think I checked the Instagram stories at the time, and he actually did go to some golfing, so he wasn't lying. But I wonder if it's actually going to happen. if it doesn't, Brendan's gonna be really cut up because he seems to be really excited. He really wants to go and see his fucking stepdaddy Rogan, and if that doesn't go through, 2 fucking, you know, cancellations back to back, that's gonna hurt him so badly. Anyway, let's move on from that one. There's a clip here courtesy of the Final Kiss subreddit again, featuring these guys called Dave and Gareth from the Dollop. I think I used to listen to the Dollop before, maybe a couple of episodes, but I haven't checked of it since then. I'm not too sure if you guys have listened to the Dollop, but I think I used to check it out before. I think Dollop was the same time I used to check out, like, what's the show? It's called Beach Boys now, Beach Bums, but it's changed. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, the Dollop guys had some things to say about the subreddit and Brendan overall. Let's see what they had to say about it. Let's play this clip because this is the one I forgot to speak about before. Let's get this on the screen.
You're listening
Are we,
to Wolf and the
are we
Squirrel.
talking spin-off? It's like the fighter and the kid. Of which, by the way,
with less rape.
that whole world is just
If
getting
people don't
crazier.
know, if people don't know what Fighter and the Kid is, it's Brian Callen and is it Brian SCHAUB? Is it
Brandon.
SCHAUB?
Brandon
SCHAUB.
Brian Shaw.
And Brian is a comedian that I've known for years. He was on Mad TV.
He's been a
So
ton of shit.
he's been kicking around for a while, but you know, some really serious rape allegations came out.
Yeah.
Pretty substantially, you know, open and shut case, kind of like in the LA Times.
Many sexual assault allegations. Yes.
He did it. And
a rape.
That's a funny thing that they mentioned, right? You know, the sexual assault allegations against Brian Callen, not to bring them up again and kind of get him in hot bother. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But you know what was funny about the whole Brian Callen thing? I don't think the rape allegations were the actual thing that were most concerning. As bad as it was, if you actually read the LA Times article, there was another account of some girl that I think was working in like an American Apparel, I think at the time, or a Uniqlo. And she mentioned a story which legitimately sounded so much like Brian Callen. I think the story goes something like, she's a cute girl working in this fucking retail store. Brian wants to buy some jeans or something, right? And then I think the men's department happened to be upstairs. And I think it was like early in the day. So the girl takes him upstairs to go and show him what the jeans are. And I guess from the journey from the shop floor to upstairs, he's being quite, you know, flirty and, you know, being his jokey Brian self. And then when they get to the top floor, she shows him where to get the jeans. She shows him to the dressing room. And then he then calls her over or something to say, oh, what do you think of the jeans? And then when he opens the fucking thing, he's topless and shit, like doing the Brian dance. And then he's changing in front of her and shit. And she's like feeling uncomfortable. She walks away. And I think he tries to pull her into the change room or something, right? Or something like that. And it sounded so much like Brian. Nothing, I think, and then she ran away and went downstairs and told her fucking staff mates, and I think the LA Times corroborated it with her people that she was working with at the time. Oh, did you remember? Do you remember her telling you that this happened? And they all said yes. So as much as he can say, oh, the rape allegations was like 20 years ago, it's a he said, she said. I want to know what he has to say about that girl at that shop. Like, could you explain what that? Could you kind of explain that one, please? Because that one sounded so much like him, you know. Like, as much as bad as the fucking rape allegation is, he can maybe explain it away and say it was 20 years ago, we were into some freaky shit. He can do that whole semantics and wordplay shit and excuse himself. But I would love to know how he explains that story of that retail assistant that he allegedly tried to pull into a dressing room or something, and, you know, was in his panty. I think the story goes he was in like he opened the fucking the curtain and he was in his pants and shit. And you know, Brian Callen's the type of person who wears fucking white panties. You know what I mean? To make his junk look bigger or some shit. So that sounded really crazy. So I'm glad they mentioned it, because I remember that part of the story thinking, hold on, Brian, like, I know the rape allegation is a serious bit, but could you explain that bit, please? Anyway.
And then he went away for a little bit, and now he's back on a podcast.
He barely went away.
Shows. Yeah, he barely went. He's doing shows. He got married, because all these guys, when they're accused of sex crimes, they immediately get married.
Yeah, that's so true as well. The marriage thing is a funnier bit. Like, I can't understand, like, maybe because I guess if you're innocent, you wouldn't want to do that, right? Because I think if you're actually innocent, you'd be so preoccupied with clearing your name, and you'd be so distraught with people thinking you're this person, with people thinking you're a rapist or a diddler and shit. you wouldn't have time to think about hooking up. Like, I look at Jonathan Majors as a good example. Jonathan Majors, the actor, right, went through what he went through with that alleged assault thing that's looking like it may be fake. But at the time, that assault thing was crazy news everywhere, right? Jonathan Majors is next big star. He was going to be on these Marvel films. He gets into an argument with his girlfriend at the time in a car, and he allegedly beats her up or some shit, right? And he gets put into custody and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. Then shortly after that whole thing happens and he gets quote unquote cancelled, Jonathan Majors is posted out and about with what's her name? With Megan Good, right? He's obviously Megan Good's incredibly hot, don't get me wrong. But straight away after that incident happens, Jonathan Majors has got a new girlfriend. And I was thinking to myself, like, what's with these guys when they go through this shit? Why do they immediately run to a relationship? Like, Crystalia got married and had another kid after that whole thing. Bryan Callen had a kid and got married. In my head, I would want to focus all my efforts on clearing my name. I'd be so worried about making sure I clear my name, I set the record straight, bloody blah, 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 than actually hooking up. Like, that would be the last thing on my head. Like, I wouldn't be even thinking of how to get hard, I swear to God. But these guys are, like, able to just, like, you know, put it to one side and just keeping on. But then on the flip side also, to put some onus back on the women, these ladies seem to have a real penchant, a real taste on their fucking lips for these guys that go through scandals. I'm not too sure if it's a woman thing where, like, oh, because you're in demand, because some girls have that, right, where if they feel like other girls like you, they might want to like you too. But it's interesting how there's very rarely can I think of a diddler or an abuser that isn't married or doesn't have kids. They're not like incels. You know what I mean? That's the funny thing about it. Most sexual abusers, most rapists aren't really incels. They're usually guys that women like, even after they get accused of what they get accused of. Like, fame and clout is a really strange thing to make you be a fan of fucking, you know, somebody that is accused of maybe, you know, taking advantage of underage girls or getting women stamped with these tattoos and all this weird shit. Like, it's just a strange thing. But, you know, again, I'm a nobody. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Comedians, I mean. And then and now he's on with a ex cage fighter guy who decided to get into comedy, Brennan Schaub, who's really dumb, like a level of dumb you rarely witness. And they do a podcast together, and it is so now there is a Reddit group.
Actually, I was about to say, is Brendan the dumbest, most successful person that you can think of? The only other person I can think of who's super dumb but also somewhat successful would be someone like a Tito Ortiz or something, right? That's an easy one. Tito Ortiz could be one. Maybe even like a Candace Owens a little bit, because she's not the smartest person, but she's. I think Candace Owens has specific levels of smart, right? She's like smart in certain avenues or certain places, but once you take her out of her fucking fields of expertise, she becomes a little bit dummy. But I can't think, is Brendan the dumbest successful person in the world? Probably he might be, you know, in terms of what he's been able to achieve in life. Like, you look at him, like, you know, like how he speaks, how he computes things, his understanding of things. Like, he's probably might be fresh and fit. Yeah, fresh and fit. No, Hassan Piker's a little bit more smarter than that, to be fair. He might be annoying, but he's not a dummy. You might not agree with his worldview, but he's not a dummy. Yeah, exactly. Brandon, define success. Okay, cool. Touche, Brandon. Touche. That
is dedicated to this podcast, and I think
Homeless
it started.
Cats. They're called the Yeah, they call themselves the homeless cats. Yeah, it's called Fighter in the Kid. They call themselves homeless cats.
And
he interrupted him 3 times there, like Brendan. That was similar to like a Brendan interrupting Brian thing there.
And they started out. I think it started out just a regular, you know, subreddit about a podcast, and it's been completely taken over. And now it's just all people talking shit.
It's
and
phenomenal.
There are tons of people in there grabbing clips and putting them up, and you're just like, you can't believe how dumb this.
Oh my God, there's some good names here. Gio says Nico Avocado. That's a good one. Great pull. Shades Cow, I'm insulted as a black person, but you'd even compare my girl Owens to Brendan. Yeah, fair play. I apologize. Candice is a bit more smart, definitely way more smarter than Brendan, I'd say. Jesse on Fire, that's a good one. Jesse on Fire, the most successful dumb person in the world, probably. Luke Thomas would definitely agree.
Shit.
Well, now they've also there's so much D'Elia stuff now too.
Now, don't get me wrong, Shades Kelsey, I don't think you understand how dumb people, rich people are dumb. Rich people are in America. Yeah, it's the same in the UK, mate. Trust me, it's the same in the UK. We haven't, like, you know, just look at someone like a Boris Johnson. Just listen to Boris Johnson talk, or listen to him speak and shit, and you wouldn't believe he went to all the best private schools in the UK, grew up rich completely, and is legitimately double-digit IQ. That's something that we have here in the UK also. I think it's just something that plagues the Western world, you know, by and large. Ridiculously dumb people, you know, getting away with absolute murder.
Now Chris D'Elia is also
that leaks into it.
Chris D'Elia is on a second podcast with SCHAUB, with the Eric Griffin guy, and they sit there and they do stuff. The best one the other day was they always say, like, hey, bring up the YouTube clip, and then they show it on the screen, and they're looking at it, and the top one is about how he's a rape.
It's the documentary about D'Elia's, the documentary that just, you know, indicts him.
Just ignores it, and you're like, no, go to the top one.
He's like Google, not YouTube, Google, and they keep it in. But that's not even what we're going to talk about. But that shit is so crazy.
It's so good. Everyone should jump into it, because it's get your friends
amazing.
in. It's really fun.
It's a community.
It's endless.
Big up Stinger Goo.
What else you got, Chen?
What else you got, Chen? Big up Stinger Goo. Appreciate the $2 super chat. The video's gonna end soon. Don't worry. But let's just continue before it gets to the end. Oh, what else you got?
It's an endless source of amusement. I sent Gareth like 5 the other day. I was like, look at this one.
I think the hardest I've heard you laugh was after the Bobby Lee thing, where they sort of said that it's I can't even begin to explain, but it was the episode following that where they basically threatened Bobby Lee.
Oh god, I love it.
They decided,
and I think that was the hardest you've ever
pedophile?
I've ever. That it was something like that. They kind of they threw their CIA contacts.
And they had a guy sending information about Bobby Lee, and the guy, and there was no, who is this person sending the information? They just went, it's real. And now they're calling a comedian a pedophile, even though he's not doing it. It's just BobbyLee, and it went to the craziest place.
It was
confronting him,
it was basically about how a lot of the stuff that was being said about their show was coming from Bobby Lee's house, like through metadata
from his house. Yeah,
it was nuts.
Sending him information,
it was actually. We listened to the Tiger Belly where SCHAUB went on, and then we listened to Fighter and the Kid the week after that.
But yeah, good little clip there. Thank you to those guys for the explanation and, you know, somewhat rudimentary understanding of the landscape. But it's just funny to see how far that whole drama has fucking permeated the scene, man. It's fucking been incredible. I wonder if there would be that much actual content around all of these guys if Brendan didn't exist, man. I don't think it would happen, honestly. I think if Brendan wasn't as divisive or as unlikable as he was, maybe there wouldn't be this much of eyes on the whole, you know, fucking JRE extended universe anyway. People probably just wouldn't be that bothered, but you see him and he just takes you down a fucking rabbit hole and you start exploring all these other different things. So it's a bit weird, it's a bit mad. Let's move on for this one. Let's talk about this. This is a good one. I want to quickly mention this flashback because this is something that I wanted to speak about because of the whole rape allegation thing, right? So this is close to the Final Kid subreddit. Again, this features a post someone wrote titled here called Flashback. Read that talks about the NEEKS lawsuit, right? And I just wanted to get a bit of refresh on this because I forgot how insanely dumb this whole thing was. I really do, because this thing is absolutely insane. And I think Brendan should probably till this day still regret doing this because it's just unnecessary attention he didn't need. So let's play this and then I'll tell you some other bits I want to talk about. We'll just go on. Put this on the screen and let's go.
Kit Zeke said Ferguson's insinuating that DC is on cocaine. Seems like that can be Levius and expose Ferguson to much more than just criticism. Trash talk is one thing, but defamatory statements are another. Probably no damage because DC is a stamped guy, but sure seems odd. Yeah, that's the thing with like.
I think somebody slowed this video down, didn't it? Why does he sound like that? I think whoever clipped this video maybe put an effect on Brendan's voice because he sounds like he's fucking drunk. It doesn't sound like him. Maybe it's been slowed down a bit.
You know, defamation of character, stuff like that. That's even like the narrative on me, which I don't talk about with, you know, I have a lawsuit against this YouTuber who's a small time YouTuber. If you don't know the background, you're like, oh, it's this guy who's big in the space suing this smaller guy. No. I don't give a fuck. If you want to criticize my fight picks or my stand up, my podcast, that's what I'm a public figure. I signed up for that. That stuff does not bother me. But when you start slandering my name, stealing content, and creating this false narrative of cheating on my wife and doing all this crazy shit and the defamatory stuff and using content and the clickbait stuff like that for years, well, then we're not playing the same game, man.
This legitimately, I don't know what's happening here. This is odd. I'm not going to play with it because it's giving me a bit of a headache, but this might have been one of Brendan's biggest L's ever. One of his own really odd mistakes. I never really understood why he did this. I don't understand this. I don't get it in the slightest. It really doesn't make any sense to me why he went after Uniques. Because if I remember at the time, don't get me wrong, Uniques at the time was pretty crazy with the clickbait titles and shit. He'd got, you know, as he is now, but that's what YouTube is about. It's not a big deal and that it's not really a slight on him. But what Uniques did, he only clipped up what was available. He didn't invent a narrative. It just was clips that was always available. And I think obviously the final straw that broke flipping Brendan's back was the clip that he took during the live stream that he did for the Super Bowl. And, you know, there was that clip of Brendan handing over a note to some young girl. And then he went fucking crazy over that. But to be fair to Brendan, I think he did the lawsuit in kind of, this is a weird thing to say, it makes sense, but I have a feeling Brendan did the lawsuit as a way to prove to his wife at the time that he didn't do it. Like he'd go that far. Do you know what I mean? He went to, like, she probably saw what was going on there because, you know, there's some people that will send that shit to his wife. So she probably saw what the clip was saying. Then Brendan, to kind of defend himself and to kind of make sure she doesn't believe it, he said, oh, I'm going to sue this motherfucker, blah, blah. He's putting dirt on my name. He's lying, blah, 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 blah. So he went with it. He went through with it, I think, personally, because he wanted to make sure he proved to his wife that he didn't actually do what that video showed in terms of giving the girl a note to call him, whatever it may be. That's why my thing comes from, because this legitimately had the Streisand effect. Like, he tried to sue him and silence him. He ended up losing, what was it, $500,000. It brought more eyes and attention to the fucking issue. More people were covering it. You had all big YouTubers covering it. I think Moist Critical spoke about this and stuff. Like, it was fucking crazy. You know, Brendan went from being relatively only known to, like, you know, us little content, you know, commentators and shit, right? This normal people. And then he suddenly got blown up and started being spoken about from the likes of, you know, Moist Critical and all these type of people who get like millions of views per video. So this did the complete opposite. Exactly, yeah. It blew up on Reddit too, exactly, Josie. It did the complete opposite of actually stemming the tide. I don't know why he did this, but it was one of the biggest own goals that Brendan's ever done. Like, legitimately, it was so dumb. But, like I said, I do have sympathy for him as a dude. I'm sure he just tried to save his marriage, save his family. He didn't want to, you know, make it look bad. He didn't want to make it look believable. So he just said, hey, I'm going to sue. And then I guess that made the wife chill out a little bit and realize, oh, maybe it's not true. So I think that's what happened. But then the other own goal that I remember is this. Do you guys remember this? This is the other own goal. BRYAN CALLEN had an own goal too. Do you guys remember this? The fucking GoFundMe for the rape victim's husband, or the, you know, together. So if you're not familiar, this lady here, something Tigerman, I forgot her first name, Catherine Tigerman, she was a woman that first accused BRYAN of fucking rape, innit, right? And for some reason, BRYAN, again, these two guys know how to do own goals. For some reason, BRYAN then started to sue the husband, and I think both of them together basically, because when the story came out that BRYAN may have raped this lady in the past, I guess maybe the husband didn't know. He might have found out at the same time. So being the husband that he is, he was defending his woman, and he was basically, you know, kind of attacking Bryan on social media, going after him, saying shit about him. And then obviously he went a bit too far. He started calling up clubs and basically trying to get Bryan's gigs cancelled, which is the only reason why Bryan sued. So Bryan then decided to sue them. And there's an article here talking about it, right? Where, you know, they said when he gave up it. But Bryan actually tried to sue the husband of his rape accuser because they were trying to get his gigs cancelled. This, I think, is further proof for me that comedians really only operate in a world where they get ticket sales and shit. That's all they care about. They probably care about ticket sales and selling out more than their actual family and children. It's fucking bizarre because Bryan really got hot and bothered when he fucking thought to himself, hold on, are these people going to try and take money out of my pocket? Are they going to try and ruin my ability to put food on the table? Nah, I'm not having it. Then he tried to sue them and it went fucking left. So let's read the article. This courtesy. This is last time, right? It says here on Monday, Callen's attorney filed a request asking Los Angeles Superior Court to dismiss the lawsuit against Gabrielle Tigerman, whose wife Catherine Fiore Tigerman claims that Callen sexually assaulted her in 1999. Fiore Tigerman was one of 4 women who described Callen's misconduct in the 2020 investigation. Less than 2 minutes after the Times story was published, Callen launched a legal effort to seek unspecified damages from Gabrielle Tigerman, who Callen claimed intended to have Mr. Callen blacklisted, destitute, and never to work again, according to September 2020 complaint. So I don't get it personally. I don't understand why, as somebody that's been accused of rape, would you try and go out there and try and silence the husband of your rape accuser? That is actually going to do the opposite of what you think it's going to do. And obviously they posted an update on it when they won. In 2021, said that we won, case dismissed. It's with immense pride. Then gradually we announced the lawsuit has been dismissed this week. We won. The money you donated was critical. It allowed us to mount a defensive effort for the serial predator's desperate and malicious attempt to silence us. While it's unfathomable that we live in a world where your wife's rapist can sue you for speaking out against him, the judge made it clear in a tentative ruling that Callen cannot silence or exercise the constitutional right for free speech, and Callen did not meet his burden of demonstrating probable prevailing of his chain. It is an important case. It sets a precedent for other sexual abuse victims. It lets victims and advocates know that they cannot be bullied. There are a lot of abusers still out there. Callen's still out there. And Catherine and I will never stop speaking on behalf of victims. Honestly, I don't get why he did this, man. Like, even if Callen's innocent, I don't get why he did this. Like, Brendan and Bryan, with 2 of the biggest own goals I've ever seen in my entire life, trying to fucking sue the fucking, you know, the husband of your accused rape victim or whatever it may be, and then fucking Brendan trying to sue you, NEEKS. 2 incredible own goals that till this day I don't get why they did it. I don't understand it, because I think to myself, like, if you're Brendan and you did get caught, you know, red-handed in 4K with your hand in a cookie jar, just ignore it. Just fucking ignore it, and no one pays attention to it. But the fact that he tried to sue, he's actually lucky. I've always said this before. Brendan's actually lucky that nobody in this kind of community or scene is really malicious in terms of commentary, right? Like, I'm never gonna fucking reach out to people to get gossip on Brendan. I'm not that guy. It's not that deep. You just laugh and, you know, kind of chuckle at the stuff that he does online. But he's lucky that this scene and this, you know, group of commentators or whatever we're not malicious, because if people were malicious, they would have tried to find who that girl was. They would have tried to find who she was, offered her some money, got her on live stream and just got her to fucking spill the beans and put up the fucking note onto the camera and shit. It would have got really crazy for him. So he's lucky that people are not that malicious that go that deep. So, you know, it's unnecessary that he kind of brought more attention to himself in that way. And the Bryan Callen thing is just unfathomable. Can you imagine being the husband of that woman that he allegedly may have raped, and then having him try to sue you for defamation? It's like, what? Oh, I fucking love LA people, man. LA people are fucking, their brains work so backwards. It's like, the first thing I'll do is just clear my name and just say I didn't do it and provide some evidence or provide a counter narrative. All Bryan did was just stare into the camera and say, I did under no circ. No, that weird fucking thing he did. Like, I don't know. Anyway, moving on from that one. We don't talk about that one. That's boring. Let's talk about this one. Yeah, this is fucking amazing. So, what do you think about this? For me, this for me, I'm not really somebody that's a good, how do I say it? Am I a good example? I'm not a real good sort of like, how can you say this? Yeah, I don't have many friends, right? So I don't have many friends. So I can't really be the best person to speak on this sort of shit. But I think if I did have a big group of friends, I would legitimately be annoyed with somebody who speaks this way, who when presented with, you know, a narrative that may prove that they're wrong, is unwilling to even say they're wrong and just is hell-bent on being sure on what they're saying, even though they don't know what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody who just doesn't know what they're talking about, but speaks with such conviction, it would really, really annoy me, really piss me off. And Brendan's the biggest example of it. He has this ability to just speak with conviction in what he says, but he absolutely knows nothing what he's talking about. So this is one clip that is a good example of it. Let's play this, because this is fucking wild.
Right? They milk the snake. They take the snake, they pop its fangs into it, and then they add shit to it.
They're talking about how they make anti-venom, you know, what you call it? Antidotes for fucking venom and shit, right? And Brendan is basically describing how he thinks he's sure how they make, you know, anti-venom for viruses. And look at Brian's face. It's fucking incredible. Well, let's go.
Do it. It's just not.
That's actually
chemicals.
not how they do it.
Bring it up, Chin.
So here's how they do it. Ready?
Chin, bring up Exhibit A again before you talk
They
back.
actually give it to horses. Okay? They give a tiny
That's
bit
not
to
true.
horses. Listen, they give a tiny bit to horses. And then what they do is they extract that from the horse because the horse produces antibodies.
I don't think so. Chin, go into how do they get anti-venom? Not how much it is. I mean, it says 40 to 70 grand.
Which is crazy.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Right? In my current stat, like,
40 to
just let's
70
see how it
grand.
goes through the night.
Oh, yeah.
At one point in my life, I thought $1 million was like, oh, I'm rich forever.
Yeah,
and then,
fuck you money.
Yeah, and then you start making money in California. You go, it's like, no, I'm actually broke.
Yeah. No, actually,
Like, not
owe
only-
the government money.
Yeah.
So indication again, these little quips that Brendan's saying, that might give us an insight into like the money issues, because Brendan never really speaks like this before. So maybe this is the clearest example that we need, that maybe those whole things about him not having money and the cost media shit are true. Maybe this is part of it.
Not only broke, but like I have like 10 times the amount of shit I have to pay for.
Yeah, I'm struggling. Let's wait a little bit.
No.
You guys have layaway?
Yeah. I
You
spent.
guys have like a payment plan?
I got an
$400
$11,000 bill from the vet recently.
400
But I have
400,000?
insurance.
For the corgi?
Yeah.
Kill him.
There you go. Yeah, watch this. They're made by immunizing donor animals such as horses.
That's what I was
sheep,
saying.
and snake.
You gotta say, yeah.
These
You got
animals
the
have
horse.
robust immune systems and produce powerful antibodies.
Holy shit, you
that
were
can
right with this
bind
blood
to
science.
snake venom components, enabling our own immune defense to eliminate these toxins. Yeah, you shoot it up. You shoot a snake. You shoot a sheep or a.
But they don't
horse.
just hold a fucking snake and let it bite the horse. They milk
Yes.
it,
Yes.
and then they take that out and
Yes.
inject in the
Yes.
horse. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, see what I mean? You see that inability to just say you're wrong. He got the thing completely wrong, and then when he presented with information that kind of proves what he says, he then switches what he says to agree with it, and then say, "Hey, I actually got it right in the first place." Like, oh my god! And the pronunciation of milk, like, I don't get this. I really don't get this. This for me is the clearest example, personally, that Brendan does know he's pronouncing things wrong, but just pronounces them wrong because he knows no one can say anything to him. Because he essentially pays everybody in that office. He is the fucking boss. What he says goes. So they can't actually pull him up on anything. And they also know he's fucking thin-skinned. So they know if they do try and correct him, he might go crazy and, you know, destroy the whole fucking room. But that milk thing is just fucking insane. Milk.
You know how they get the venom, right? They milk the snake. They take the snake, they pop its fangs into it, and then they add shit to it. It's just not.
That's actually not
chemicals.
how they do it.
Can you imagine thinking that's how they make the antivirus? What they add shit to it? They add like a bit of olive oil, a little bit of oregano. They squeeze half a lemon into the fucking virus. They put a little bit of water into it, like when you got a bottle of ketchup and you're running out, and you put a little bit of water to kind of make it stretch. Like, what the fuck was he saying? Like what? They piss in it a little bit. Like honestly, like what the hell?
Venom, right? They milk the snake. They take the snake, they pop its fangs into it, and then they add shit to it.
Do you guys know anybody in your life that says milk that way? Milk. Unless they have an accent and they're from a particular part of the world, I don't think I've ever heard anybody in my entire life say milk. Especially on purpose. Repeatedly. Thinking they're saying it correctly. Milk. Because he even says, I've seen a clip of Brendan saying pillow. He doesn't say pillow, he says pillow. You know that? Like a fucking 5-year-old. He says pillow. Milk. He says pillow. Oh yeah, true. Scottish people, Scottish people just say, milk. But milk, like, it's so bizarre, man. It's so weird. Oh, people saying it's like a Midwest thing. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely not Midwestern, is he? Let's be sure. Unless Denver is counted as Midwest. I don't really know. My geography of fucking United States is pretty all over the place, but milk is fucking insane to say. But again, no one can tell him anything because he's the boss. So that's what happens. I guess that's the benefit of being a boss, isn't it? You can just do whatever the fuck you want. Let's continue there. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. This one's good. 20 tickets left. Let's play this clip. Again, he does this to himself. I don't know why he says these things, man. It just sets himself up for failure. Let's play this. 20 tickets left. It's so weird thing to say. Honestly, the comedians insecurities around selling tickets might be worse than women these days with like flat bums and not having enough boobs and shit and being uncomfortable with their fucking lips. Because honestly, these comedians with tickets, the way they're so insecure about not selling tickets is so weird because they say the weirdest things that are unprovoked, unprompted, and that most fans don't care. But anyway, let's play the clip.
Friday at the Ice House, it's almost sold out. If you got molested, come, I guess. But either way, I'm there, SHAUB and friends. We have 20 tickets left. Ice House this weekend. 40 tickets left. Ice House, Pasadena, SHAUB and friends this Friday.
Snapchat goes away, right?
Snapchat's coming back. Jeff.
It started up as being 20, then at the end it decided to be 40 tickets left. So how much is it? Is it 40 or 20? Honestly, the comedians need to always tell you how much tickets they've sold, how little tickets are left, as a way to kind of rush you to buy tickets. Is fucking insane. Because in my opinion, I've always said, the thing I hate the most about comedy podcasts is them plugging tickets so much, right? Saying, well, how many, listing all the dates they're going to be at. It's like, bro, if I want to come and watch you, I'm going to come and watch you. I don't need you to list every fucking place you're going to be at for the next 4 months at the end of your show, the beginning or the end. Just say, hey, if you want to buy tickets to my shows, I've got a bunch of dates up at the moment. I might be in your city this weekend. Check my site out at www.agostinozinger.com. You know what I mean? That's what you would do. Just nice, short and concise. If I want to go and see you, I'm going to check. But this need to kind of pump and fucking pound away at the fucking tickets promotion, and I've got 20 left, 40 left. It's like, how do you even know the numbers? Like, who gives you the numbers of how many tickets they got left? Venues always lie about the tickets they've got sold and what they've got left and shit. This is part of the business. Like, why do you care? It doesn't really matter. It's such an odd thing, man, that these comedians have such an odd complex around tickets. I've never understood it, which also maybe explains why they're also so backstabby. And they talk behind each other's back, and they're also jealous because deep down they all have deep-seated resentment around their lack of ticket sales, because for them that's the only mark of success. But unfortunately, like everything monetary or like anything like that, those sort of things that you measure like that, right? It's never enough. So you start selling theaters, and then suddenly you want to start doing arenas, then you want to start doing stadiums and shit. It's never ever enough for these guys. They never get to a point where they're comfortable and they're okay. There's always needs to be more. But the whole this clip is absolutely brilliant. I need to play it one more time. 20 tickets left and 40 tickets in the space of, I don't know, an hour or so of the podcast. Fucking amazing.
Friday at the Ice House, it's almost sold out. If you got molested, come, I guess. But either way, I'm there, SHAUB and friends. We have 20 tickets left. Ice House this weekend. 40 tickets left.
40 tickets left.
Ice House pass.
I fucking love it. 20 tickets left, 40 tickets left. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe because, again, I'm a fucking quote unquote up and coming DJ, right? I do my little parties. I play my little, fucking bar gigs where I get paid $100 and shit to fucking play some awful music in the corner of some pub somewhere where people don't really want me to be there, right? Where they're all fucking chomping on their double cheeseburgers and their fries, and now here's me playing some fucking awful Dua Lipa remix in the corner. But I know in my fucking low level as a DJ, I'm happy if fucking one person turns up to my gig because they've seen a flyer of me playing somewhere. I'm over the moon if one person comes. I'm going to perform for that one person like I'm playing at the biggest fucking EDM party you've ever seen in your life. I mean, I'm playing like I'm at Tomorrowland. I'm super chuffed. So, because I know how hard it is for me to leave the house, right? I love parties. I love raving. But I know how difficult it is. Sometimes for me, I don't know, you guys are the same. I'll buy tickets sometimes and I still won't go. Like, I will legitimately buy a ticket to go somewhere. The day will come around. I'll be like, I can't be bothered. I'll just stay at home. And I think loads of people do the same thing. So it's hard to get people outside their homes. It's hard to get them to really go and put gas in their car, pay for parking and all that shit, book a fucking babysitter, all that malarkey. It's hard to do that. So if people do come out to see you, regardless if they're seeing you in a fucking strip mall, in a fucking arena, in a theater, in a comedy club, you should be grateful. You shouldn't be fucking 40 tickets left, 20 tickets left. It shouldn't be a bother. The fact that people are seeing you regardless is fucking awesome. That they're leaving their house to come and see you, especially someone like a Brendan. Because you've seen these fucking comedy, it's fucking garbage. So the fact that they're coming to see you, you should be chuffed that you got any fans, let alone, please hurry. There's a time fucking sensitive tickets here on sale. Like, no one gives a fuck. But yeah, what can you do? Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's do this. What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna play here? Let's not play that. We got not much to play. But yeah, let's play this. This is a good one too. This is fucking awful, right? This is really sad. I was saying, yeah, they're not fans. They're not fans. They're civilians. Exactly. Exactly, Uche, yeah. Pedestrians, yeah, exactly, go. Pedestrians, civilians, regular people. I don't watch Crowder, so I have no clue. Yeah. Yeah, what is the deal with Crowder and Callen, by the way? Do you guys know? I think I've got a clip on here about it from the Fire the Kids sub. This is the one, right? Yeah. Is Callen still on Steven's show? Let's actually play this one, because I'm actually confused. What's happening with all this shit? Let's play this and see if this loads up. Oh. No volume there. Let's put it up. What's actually the deal here with fucking Brendan and fucking Crowder? Let's play this clip.
Cock, right?
No. Barbie was shockingly.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Do this on Crowder. Do it to Crowder, please. Crowder, please watch this.
I'm going to
light him up.
I'm not on until August 7th, but we'll get on there.
That'd be good for you, dude. Do it on there.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up because it's going to
bring it up on Rogan.
Because the right can't stand the movie because they talk about the patriarchy and stuff.
So what do you think is happening with fucking Callen? Do you remember when it all happened, right? I think I played the clip, the little trailer for Crowder's show. It was a proper, don't get me wrong, it was really cringe, and we saw Steven Crowder's sassy little walk, right? He had that little, he had that walk of somebody. If you guys have ever, I worked in H&M. I've worked in fucking Selfridges. I've worked in Top Man when I used to be there, right? I've had an extensive retail career when I was younger. You all know what your fucking area manager or floor manager in a retail store looks like, right? And Crowder was given that kind of walk. Crowder had the walk of somebody, maybe a Hot Topic manager or some shit, right? He had a very sassy walk, right? So that was a funny trailer. But that trailer we saw, they put some money into that. They gave them all blazers and shit. Like, it was clearly a thing where they were launching. Crowder was relaunching his Mug Club thing. So I got the feeling that BRYAN was meant to be a big part of Crowder's content going forward. So what happened? I wonder what happened. Like, do you think it had to do with that clip that we saw about Crowder telling BRYAN to shut up? Do you think Crowder realized BRYAN, it just isn't good for business? Because I think that Dave Landau guy said that, how much did they get? Was it like £1,000 or something for the month or something? Crazy like that, right? You have to pay for your own travel. And I think Dave Landau said something like, oh, he gives you notes. You have to do like homework before, like prep, right? He gives you like stuff to read. And obviously BRYAN's not reading shit. And I think we saw a clip of it when he came to the studio. He just saw the topics when he got there, and Crowder made it known that, that's not acceptable. He was like, he got a bit like cunty about it. So I think personally, Crowder realized that Callen isn't good for business, as everybody realizes over the years. Like, he's just, you know, unfortunately, he doesn't have the best work ethic in the world, which is probably why he's where he's at career wise, and he has to kind of rely on Brendan. And he just said, you know what, I'll call you. I think that's what happened. That's my theory. I think Crowder just wasn't a fan of Bryan, and his level of effort wasn't good enough, and he just put him on the back burner because he hasn't been on there in a while. Eddie D says the H&M hoodies back in the day. Like, yeah, you know, Eddie D, those H&M hoodies, I fucking lived. I had so many. I used to fucking do a little 5-finger discount on those hoodies. My brothers and me had so many of those hoodies. I bought them. I bought them. I brought loads back home for my whole entire family. Everybody had a H&M hoodie back then, man. But I would like you to rate BAPA'S fits. Teju. Obviously, they're terrible. Like, terrible. I don't really mind the Jordans. I think he's got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Jordan 5s. I don't mind them. But I detest Brendan's pants. Brendan has a really odd shape choice of pants, I think. I've always hated Brendan's pants because he's quite tall guy. He's got pretty long legs, but he loves to wear cuffed pants. I hate pants that have elastic on them. If you're going to wear elastic pants, they have to be sweatpants. I've seen Brendan wear denim sweatpants. You heard me. I've seen Brendan wear denim sweatpants. So they're made in the style of a sweatpant, but they're denim, like a chambray type of material. And they're one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. He loves wearing those fucking horrible check Gucci gingham pants as well. I hate them. But the one thing I hate a lot is the need to roll out your pants like this. Like this roll and then the no socks and shit is just odd. It's not needed. You have long legs. Either get pants that fit correctly, that drop right on the top of your fucking trousers, or just wear your trousers over your fucking shoes like a gentleman. Because guys are actually into fashion, they're into sneakers, but don't want to wear clothes like a teenager, like how Dana White wears. Dana White might have some really expensive shoes on, but he's just wearing a fucking black t-shirt and black jeans, right? Just wear stuff that fits and then have your Larry trainers on. But this whole like rolling up the thing and then the baseball cap, and it's just unnecessary. Like, just take it off. Makes no sense. That's the thing that fucking I hate the most. And for me, it screams a little bit, exactly, Cloud. It's desperate to flex. Like, Brendan wants you to see his shoes. He's got that thing. It's like a new age sneaker head. They like that a lot. I think if you guys, a good example was like, I'm sure you guys had it in your area where you grew up. In my part of London, there was a particular trend a while back, right? Where people were wearing Chelsea boots. Do you know what a Chelsea boot is, right? Like a desert Chelsea boot. There was a real trend in my area for some reason. And I think the Chelsea boots might have been from like Zara or something. Let me see if I can get them up. Zara Chelsea boot. And for whatever reason, when that Chelsea boots came out, all the guys that are wearing these fucking boots were wearing them with the trousers rolled up. And I couldn't understand why. And the reason why they did that, guess why? Was because they wanted to show off the boot. So they'd wear these fucking boots with the fucking trousers. Let's see if I can find it. Pants rolled up. And I fucking hate it, right? And I think Brendan does the same thing with his trainers because he wants people to see his trainers. So let's see. Pants rolled up, Chelsea boots. Let's see if someone's got a picture of it. I think it's horrible. I hate people that wear the Chelsea boots. I think you're meant to wear your Chelsea boots with just the pants over them like this. That's how they're meant to look, in my opinion. But some guys will have the trousers like rolled up like that, like this. This was a fucking epidemic. There was a pandemic in my part of London with guys going around the town wearing Chelsea boots like this. And this is similar to Brendan. He wants people to see his fucking shoes. And I fucking detest it. I think it looks fucking awful. Like, those are good. Those are fucking, those Bloodstones. Those are good boots. Put those trousers over your fucking boots. You don't need to fucking have the cuffs showing so you can see it. Like, look, this is all douchebag wears. Look, all of it, all douchey bag looking ways of wearing the shoes. Kind of reminds me of how girls wear them. Like, I fucking hated it. And Brendan does the same thing when it comes to his Chelsea boots, when it comes to his sneakers. That's the issue he has, really. So, yeah. Don't get me started on that stuff because that'll go on for fucking hours. I fucking hate that shit. It fucking does my head in. But yeah, let's continue. Oh, it's actually Josie. He wants everyone to see the shoes. Don't worry, honey. They have every ugly, exactly every ugly combos. You can't miss them. Exactly. He wants everyone to see him as like, relax. Sometimes you don't need the shoes to speak for your outfit. Just put on the shoes because you like the shoes. But, you know, this is a guy, you know, again, everyone's got their thing. You know, everyone's got their thing. I'm not going to go too much into it. Moving on, let's talk about this clip. This one's fucking crazy. This is an old school clip again, courtesy of the Friday Kids Sub. Big up those guys because this is fucking a really great story, how it kind of ended. As the title says here, Papa tells Chappelle he's not good enough to play with his boy Travis Barker, right? Which is a pretty shitty thing to do. This clip is pretty crazy because I don't actually remember this. This is back in the day when Brendan used to have Chappelle Lacey and Malik B be his co-host on The Friday and the Kid. After Brian Callen got cancelled, he kind of brought these two guys on to kind of, you know, plug in the holes and shit. It obviously didn't end well because Malik B got fired and then Chappelle ended up leaving because he knew Brendan was bad for business. But I completely forgot about this clip. I didn't know this clip existed, but this is pretty crazy. But it ends pretty well.
But I still fucked with him because Travis Barker's my boy. And Travis is one of the best
Travis
people I know.
did
Travis is literally one of the best people on earth, and he fucks with him. So I gotta imagine he is a good person.
Thanks for that follow, Travis.
He's great.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Let me know if you want to jam.
Okay, copy that.
With the best drummer alive right now, you want jam?
Why wouldn't I?
That would be an honor.
Why not?
When was the last time you jammed?
Like a full on band?
Yeah.
Oh, that's been a minute. Probably 2000. Remember when I did it on stage?
Yeah, just give me how many years ago.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that's a long time. He plays every day.
Man, kiss my ass. Doesn't mean I don't know how to jam with a band. You play music. You play music.
Play music.
Man,
You are kind of.
you can go into a gym right now and get some UFC shit going. Couldn't you?
No.
Wow. Wow. So big up Chappelle Lacey, man. He actually got to perform live with fucking Travis Barker behind him jamming. How amazing is that? Honestly, like the hating levels from Brendan is just crazy. I actually didn't notice it watching back the clip, but the tension is pretty thick in it. It was always pretty awkward. I don't remember it being that awkward between them. You know, him and fucking Malik and Chappelle. I didn't remember it being that awkward between them and Brendan, like, but the cultural differences between them and shit was just weird. Cultural, maybe it's just personality thing. But Brendan, this is why I always say, and again, this is just my own theory, and I think I don't have any fucking right to say this, but I'm just talking shit on the stream. This is why I think I have a feeling that Brendan has an issue with black people. It's just something about him, like, he just seems so uncomfortable around these guys. It kind of felt like they were pulling teeth and shit. Like, it was just weird, you know? Even though they were, you know, two of the nicest, you know, black dudes you probably could come across in that content space, right? They're not the most stereotypical, quote-unquote, black dudes in the world. So he didn't even get the worst example that kind of, you know, made him feel uncomfortable. He just didn't really get them. I don't know why. It was weird. But yeah, the hate he has for these guys is just bizarre, especially for Chappelle. He just said he could never jam with Travis. Even though he meant, again, did you see what was funny? The tension. Brendan's kind of name dropping Travis and saying that's my boy, but Travis Barker doesn't follow Brendan on social media. He follows Chappelle, and Chappelle dropped that, and then Brendan's face was like, he did a bit of an eye roll. Let's play that one more time.
With them because Travis Barker's my boy, and Travis is one of the best
Travis
people I know.
did
Travis is literally one of the best people on earth. And he fucks with him, so I gotta imagine he is a good person.
Thanks for that follow, Travis.
He's great.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Not real.
Let me know if you want to jam.
Okay.
See the hate. Look at the hate on his face. That's pure hate on his face. How can Travis be your boy, allegedly, and then so now he doesn't follow you, you know, but he's allegedly your boy? Because Brendan's story about fucking Travis Barker is fucking awful. You guys heard it, right? Where Brendan said he was driving down the street and some guy was tailgating him, you know, beeping him from behind. He didn't realize who it was. And then when they put up to traffic lights, it was fucking Travis Barker. Pulled his window down and said, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And he started talking and he sped off again or something. Like, it's like, what? The lies this guy says is fucking insane. What are you guys saying here? Travis is his boy. Eminem is his boy. Yeah, Tom Brady, Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa. Exactly. Yeah, oh my god, man. It's funny. Everybody's a fan of Brendan. Everybody knows him. He's that famous. Everybody's a fan of him. I don't know. But yeah, big up Malik. Sorry, big up Malik as well. But big up Chappelle. Passed at the Comedy Store, performing with Travis Barker on fucking stage, absolutely winning. Again, another example of when you leave Brendan Schaub, you go up and up. You know, leave Brendan, you go up. It's like that saying people say, right? Go woke, go broke. It's like leave Papa, go upper or something, right? I don't know how to say it. What kind of what's a rhymey thing? Leave Papa, go upper or something, right? Leave Papa, go up. But yeah, definitely something happening in the water there when people leave fucking Brendan Schaub, their career completely turns over. But yeah, big up Chappelle Lacey still. Big up Chappelle Lacey same way. Oh yeah, there is that clip about fucking him. Can I actually see it? Because I didn't actually pull that up actually. There's a clip about him saying he knows Eminem. I don't know, this honestly might be one of the most egregious lies ever in the history of lies. Let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, that's the one, right? You know the story, right? What did he say? Let's see if I can get up on here. I think I might have it here. You know the story. This guy is the biggest lion, honestly. I want to lie like Brendan. One day, I want to lie like Brendan. I want to be just like Brendan. I want to lie like him. I want to be liar. No, I want to be ninja. I want to be liar. Let's get this up on stage. Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. I think this is the clip. I think it's around here. Bear with me a second, but I think this is around here. This might be... No. I still think... Of Brendan Schaub lies, I still think the number one pièce de résistance lie for me is still going to be Moon Tower Comedy Festival. That's for me is still the big one. Because I feel like that was a little bit malicious. Like he knows exactly what the flyer looked like, and he just assumed, he tried to lie and say he was a headliner when he wasn't. Then when he realized he wasn't a headliner, he wasn't selling the tickets, he then cancelled and then tried to say that it was something else why he cancelled. So I still think Moon Tower Comedy Festival lie about being a headliner was up there. The recent lie about him, being in line to be the next host of fucking Fear Factor, right? And being down to him and Ludacris, that might be up there. But this also might be up there too, right? Him mentioning now casually that he knows Eminem, fucking insane. Let's play this clip. This is absolutely insane, and only because of Eminem being in the news regarding the fucking what's his face, the Spence and Crawford fight. That's the only reason why he's mentioning this. So just listen to this lie. Listen to this lie.
Whatever it takes to get you competitive. So I have it. Crawford didn't break a sweat, dude. He didn't have a mark on his face.
I know, he looked so good.
He looked amazing, dude. Walked out with Eminem. Do you know the story with Eminem?
A little bit, but go ahead.
So Bud, I think on social media was like, yeah, I'd love for a big time musician to walk out with me, but I don't have anyone this week of the fight. Eminem sees it and Eminem's on Instagram, Twitter, social media. He's DM me. I had a thing with Eminem, right? So I know he's on social media because when they were doing that, like they were trolling the UFC, Dana White, they hit me up to blast it out, so I did it. Spoke to Eminem. Insane. One of the craziest times in my life because I'm such an Eminem fan. But so Bud Crawford comes out and goes, I'd love for a big musician to walk at me, but I don't know anybody, Eminem sees it, goes, I'm down. You're my favorite boxer. Boom. Doesn't pay him nothing. It was
Bro, why in that story did he have to mention that he knows Eminem? Just think about it for a second. This is obviously a story that went viral on social media because essentially what Brendan's saying is true. Eminem noticed the clip of Crawford, I think, saying that he would love to have Eminem come out with him during the fight, right? So that was part of the whole narrative of how Eminem ended up becoming... It's a part of the narrative of why Eminem was there. So it's a fun story. It's a nice story. But why do you need to insert yourself in that story? The story already is a pretty cool one, right? Fighter doesn't have anybody to come out with and to walk him out in the ring. Eminem happens to be a big boxing fan also, likes him, says, yeah, I'll do it for you, does it for free, and they do it, and it's a cool moment. Why can't that just be the story? Why do you need to insert yourself into that story? That's how you know this guy is a pathological liar, because of stuff like this. It's these unnecessary lies that I think are the evidence that there's something really broken in Brendan. I swear on my life. I swear this is the thing. Because I kind of get in the entertainment industry, I kind of get the, the desire to lie about things to like make yourself look better, right? In terms of like faking it till you make it, right? Like maybe buying views is a form of lying, right? Saying you sold out is a form of lying to kind of make yourself look more popular. Saying you got big things in the work and being vague is a form of like making it seem like you got things, planned that you're trying to work on, deals you're going to sign. Cool. That is all kind of, things that you're using to kind of keep you motivated and to kind of make sure that you're in a conversation. No problem. But with this sort of lie, it's totally unnecessary. There's no reason for you to insert yourself in this feel-good story about a boxer linking up with one of the most legendary, musicians, artists, rappers of his time, one of the greatest rappers of all time. It's a feel-good story. And he wins in style, and he has this guy come out with him, blah, 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 blah. And they have a hug at the end. It's all amazing. Why do you need to insert yourself into it? Like, just listen back to this, right? What was the need to have his name associated with this story? Why? Because he spoke like, oh, Eminem's always on social media. I know because I spoke to him on social. Like, what? Let's go. One more time.
Media. Eminem for a big time musician to walk out with me, but I don't have. Dude, he have a mark on his face.
I know, he looked so good.
He looked amazing, dude. Walked out with Eminem. Do you know the story with Eminem?
A little bit, but go ahead.
Have you done that to your friends before? Haven't you guys done that to your friends? Where sometimes they're chatting shit and you just be like, you know what? Now go ahead, man. They're going to chat shit, but you don't want to, because sometimes when somebody lies or talks a lot of shit, the worst thing you can do is interject. Just let them talk sometimes and they might tire themselves out. So you just say, you know what? Yeah, no, go ahead. No, I have no idea who Eminem is. No, just explain to me. Yeah. I have no idea what one of the biggest stories in fucking boxing was during the week. No, you go. I have no idea. I'm not on social media. I have no idea what happens on there. Explain to me. I have no idea who this guy may be. Go on, explain. It's actually a better tactic if you're going to shut somebody up than actually trying to interject or trying to get them shut up. Just like let them go.
So Bud, I think on social media was like, yeah, I'd love for a big time musician to walk out with me, but I don't have anyone this week of the fight. Eminem sees it and Eminem's on Instagram, Twitter, social media. He's DM me.
You see what? And again, look at this story. The fucking levels of pathological lying here. He also has to make sure that he lets you know that Eminem emailed him. You know what I mean? Eminem emailed him. That's the levels of fucking liar that this guy is. He can't even say, because I have a feeling, again, I think I said it in a comment to somebody before. If I want to be charitable to Brendan, which I always am on here because, I have fucking, I have, many years of a Christian upbringing and shit. And I was a former fan, so I just can't bear it to go like too deep into all this stuff and too hard. But if I want to be charitable to Brendan, I would say, I think there's an element of this story that may be true. Because Brendan is verified on Instagram, I have a feeling Brendan is one of those verified people who sends like clap emojis and fire emojis to famous people's Instagram stories. And when you're verified on Instagram, I know this because I've worked in, social media and I've seen stuff online and shit. I know that when you're verified on social media, if somebody DMs you who's verified, their messages pop up at the top. And sometimes, I've forgotten in the past, but they used to come up as a notification, even if your notifications are turned off. It's sort of like a way to kind of, make sure that you always see a verified message from somebody, because in case that might be somebody, I don't know, whatever it may be. But essentially, I have a feeling that Brendan's one of those verified people that actually is always replying and double tapping people's pictures and sending them fire emojis and clap emojis and heart emojis. And it probably gets up to the top of their inbox. So if they just posted a story, they might just automatically open his message, not knowing who he is. And then when they see his message, see he's verified, just might double tap it as like a acknowledgement that they saw your message. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what happened. Eminem may have posted something online. Brendan was like, clap emoji, double taps it to acknowledge it. Then he says, oh, you're my favorite rappers in the world. And he double taps and says, thanks. But then Brendan extrapolated that story and spun it like they spoke on the phone, or like they had a long conversation via the DMs and shit. That's the real sick part of it, because there's truth to always these stories. I feel there's always truth to it. So there's an element of truth, which is still quite awesome. The fact that Eminem would double tap your fucking message is still amazing, because Eminem is one of the most elusive, super private celebrities, people, artists out there in the world, right? He keeps himself to himself, whatever it may be. He's not in the mix at all. So the likelihood of Eminem randomly calling this guy of all people is fucking bizarre. Him messaging him like that is bizarre. So it just doesn't seem believable. So why not just say the truth and say, yeah, oh my God, Eminem followed me back, or Eminem double tapped my message, I was so fucking happy. That's a good enough fucking story to tell. Why add the extra fucking unnecessary fucking spice to the story and say he messaged me? About what? About getting on Rogan? About tickets to see you at the Ice House? Why would he message you? Of all the ex-fighters he can message, he went to message Brendan Schaub. Like, really? Crazy guy.
I had a thing with Eminem, right? So I know he's on social media because when they were doing that, they were trolling the UFC Dana White, they hit me up to blast it out, so I did it. Spoke to Eminem. Insane. One of the craziest times in my life because I'm such an Eminem fan. But so Bud Crawford comes out and goes, I'd love for a big musician to walk at me, but I don't know anybody, Eminem sees it, goes, I'm down. You're my favorite boxer. Boom. Doesn't pay him nothing. It was tell me if you like this, or if you prefer the way they've been doing it, or you prefer the way Eminem did it. I'm kind of leaning towards the way Eminem did it, because whenever whoever it is, Meek Mill walking out, what's his fucking one of my favorite artists, sings ISIS.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. One of the weirdest lies I've ever heard him say. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. It's unnecessary. And again, it's probably more evidence that Brendan at heart, at his core, is a pathological liar. Because at first I think I was fucking pushing the theory that Brendan might be one of those guys that I grew up with in school. That was one of those people that used to lie about all the games consoles they had, or about kissing girls or whatever it may be. But I think it's worse than that. This guy just lies like it's like second nature to him. It's just like an instant reflex to just lie. And it's so unnecessary because the truth is still pretty cool, right? But he just chooses to lie because, he wants to look better than he probably does day to day. It's fucking weird. Anyways, moving on from that one, let's play let's play this. I want to play this because I haven't actually played this yet. Oh yeah, there's a new fucking chin vlog. Let's do this one. Let's end it with that, I think, because I don't think there's anything more I want to do. Oh no, let's play this. What am I talking about here? Let's play this. Sorry, I've completely forgot. There's many tabs here I haven't played yet. Let's go this one. This one's a big one, right? Yes, this one. So this clip is funny, right? This is from the what you call it? This is from freaking Bradley Martin's fucking channel, right? And is Brendan talking? Sorry, from Frank subreddit again. Is Brendan talking about Showtime? And this is some interesting law. He's now saying that he nearly got fired from Showtime for having COVID, which we didn't know about, right? It's just pretty crazy spin on this story. So let's check this out because this is really interesting clip. Because again, I feel like there's a lie again included in this because he doesn't really explain the whole part of why he probably would have got in trouble with Showtime for the COVID thing. But let's play it anyway. This is a clip from Friday. So let's play this.
I learned the hard way, and I didn't even mean to. Me and Nate got into it one time when I was working for Showtime.
Oh no, sorry, it's not the right one. This is another clip. Doesn't matter. This clip's about fucking him and Nate Diaz, where he kind of lies about the whole Nate Diaz interaction.
And I didn't even mean to. Me and Nate got into it one time when I was working for Showtime after the Floyd Mayweather Conor fight. I said he's not going to win the fight, but he's going to land punches and win a round or two. I got all this blowback from the box community. So Conor lands punches, won maybe a round or something, and I'm like, oh fuck, hell yeah, at least I got that right. And I'm walking off. I worked the fight. I'm walking off, and I see Nate. And that whole arena is all boxing purists. So I see Nate, and it's like, oh, UFC alumni. Oh, thank God. It's like when I see another comic in a room at a party, I'm like, oh, thank God we can talk. Yeah. So I see Nate. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, what's up, dude? I go to say what's up. He's spicy dude. And he's supposed to fight Conor next.
Yeah.
So he didn't like that I was pro Conor the whole time. That was my job. It was a paid gig. My sole job was to be the MMA expert and sell people on Conor beating Floyd. That was my
Yeah.
job. That's what I was paid to do.
I see.
Do I believe all of it? No. That was my job. He thought it was real. So I was like, oh, what's up, brother? That was crazy. Honey goes, man, fuck. You don't know shit about boxing. I was like, whoa.
Bro,
and then me and him were about to fight. Yo. And I'm in skinny jeans and Gucci boots. I look like such a tool.
That would have sucked.
And he's like something like nice shoes, bitch, or something. I was like, these are Gucci, bitch. And we're like arguing about it. And then it was about to go down. And then Steven Espinoza and my boss, Brian Daly, were like, if you get in any altercation, you're fired. And I was like, all right, man. And then we just walked off.
So, this is absolutely insane because we have video evidence that proves the complete contrary to what he's saying, right? That proves he just, it just illustrates a completely different or just paints a different story completely of what actually occurred and what actually happened. But let's take a step back a minute. One of the worst things I think about Brendan in general is this inability to just stand on his shit. Because this whole narrative that he's trying to spin now, that Showtime hired him to be the heel or to be the contrarian that was pushing for Conor to beat Floyd in their fucking boxing fight is false. Because I remember that time because I was one of the people that got fucking duped into Brendan's fucking, promotion of fucking, Conor McGregor and convincing people that he was going to win. I actually started to believe him during, before the fight. I started to think, hold on, actually, he might have a point. Because before the whole entire fight, Brendan's fucking point was that Conor McGregor's stance, how unorthodox he was, and the fact that he would be super low and his legs would be super wide and whatever, with this kind of like what's your thing called? This like karate type stance, right? That he was saying will be the reason why he might actually win against Floyd. That he didn't say rounds, he said actually might win. And he actually convinced me because I'm not the fucking, I'm not a fucking boxing expert, right? I may know some bits and bobs here about UFC, but boxing isn't really my forte. And I honestly started to believe that maybe Conor might have a chance, right? Especially after all the fights I've seen Conor win in the UFC and shit. It just got me gassed. So I remember specifically during that time, Brendan believed with his heart of hearts that Conor was going to win, because you also have to imagine Conor at that time was the biggest star in maybe sports overall around that time. He was huge. He was winning all the time. He was cocky. He was confident. He was, glitzy, glamour. Like, his star was incredible. And Brendan was one of the #1 Conor McGregor nut huggers. He used to fucking slosh him off all the time. So it's funny now that Brendan is now trying to say that he was hired for Showtime to try and play the heel and be the contrarian, when it was pretty evident at that time he really believed that Conor was going to win. And he went to get Conor's good graces because he used to really be a big Conor fanboy. But now Conor's lost a few fights, He looks like he's a little bit erratic off, outside of the cage. He may or may not be on steroids. He's going a bit nuts and stuff. He's now kind of cooled off the whole Conor thing. But before, he was a huge Conor fanboy, and he was literally arguing with people online. And I know from the stuff I've seen online, being tapped into some of the little communities out there, I know that the boxing community is fucking real. I think the boxing community might be a little bit more clued up than maybe the UFC MMA community, if that makes more sense. Maybe, I think so. I think they take being a fan of boxing seriously. So when they talk about it, they get really passionate about it, and they also know what they're talking about. So when Brendan was debating people, he was debating his former coaches, I remember, on the TFATK. He debated, who's that guy? That guy that used to be on Saved by the Bell. Is it Saved by the Bell? I think so. Some dude, I forgot. I think, yeah, fucking Mario Lopez. Brendan had a really proper argument with Mario Lopez on his podcast about it. He believed it. He believed Conor was going to win. So I just find it super pathetic now that he's trying to spin it that he was paid by fucking Showtime to be the person that would convince everybody that Conor would win. No. Showtime hired him, or not hired him. Showtime put him on the coverage of that fight because he was one of the only voices out there, one of the only people, who was a ex-fucking fighter who was saying that Conor would win. So they wanted him on air. But they wasn't getting him on air because he was lying or because he was faking it, or because they put him there under the premise of, oh, you do this for us, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not true. He's completely lying about that. So this whole narrative he's trying to spin is really bizarre. And obviously the altercation with Eddie fucking with Nate Diaz, we've also got that on video. We've got evidence of what actually happened on video, and the way he's describing it isn't how it happened in the slightest. So I'm going to play that as well because that video is fucking hilarious. Because how he describes it is fucking wild to what actually happened there. So let's play. This is courtesy of this channel called what? I don't know how you fucking pronounce that channel, but this is the video. There you can see the fucking title of it, and let's play it because this actually shows you what actually happened. Let me get the chat off the screen for a bit so you can see, and let's go. Yeah, exactly. There we go, John Smith. Exactly. John Smith even said in the chat, I think Rogan was pro Conor at the time too. During the exactly, there were some people out there that was saying Conor was gonna win, but he's so fucking pussy and maybe just, you know, he wants to try and rewrite the narrative all the time and he's not confident to stand in his shit, that he's now trying to go back and say, oh, actually I was playing a role. No, you weren't. Just say you thought Conor was gonna win. There's no harm in you getting a fight pick wrong. They're fights. They can go either way. It is what it is. It's unpredictable sport. Sometimes it's predictable, sometimes it isn't predictable. But it's just the lack of owning the mistake that's really disheartening to see, especially because we all remember it. We all remember him arguing with people on his podcast, saying Conor was going to win more rounds than they expected. He might actually win. He might get a knockout. Like, we heard what he said. Like, come on. Anyway, here's the exchange between Nate Diaz and Conor. I'm sorry, Nate Diaz and Brendan Schaub after the fight when Floyd beat Conor.
I got one thing a bitch fucking ass people. Remember your career? Pussy. Fuck you.
Too right, Nate.
No, dude.
Oh, and you remember also, by the way, just to give you a little bit of context, I remember during the time that Floyd beat Conor, there was, maybe you guys remember this because you guys are more balls deep than me, but I swear I remember there was also the time that Floyd beat Conor, there was a small contingency of people, a small cohort of people who were saying that Conor actually won the fight. They were saying Conor actually won more rounds before the knockout, before the TKO. Do you remember that? I specifically remember there was some people on social media who were saying they thought Conor was winning on points before that TKO. I'm pretty sure there was. So I think this is why Brendan's saying you don't think he won 4 rounds. Like, he won rounds. He won, like, people are saying that sort of shit, which is fucking wild. But again, it's okay if you get things wrong. Just say, I did get it wrong. Mayweather's a lot better than what I expected it to be. And obviously, you know, one of our best strikers in fucking Conor McGregor is no match for one of the most, you know, decorated boxers in history. One of the greatest of all times. So it's just a weird thing. Anyway, let's continue.
It was that.
He said Tito, and again, Brendan didn't mention this bit, right? He didn't mention that he said to fuck. Don't get me wrong, Nate was giving it to him too, so I don't mind Brendan standing up for himself, right? Nate was giving it to him, and he was saying to him, you know, it's your lack of knowledge and stuff, basically sunning him. And then he said to him, teed off on you, like, but he didn't mention that to Rogan. He painted a whole different story, but he said he teed off on you.
At this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Fucking ass people.
I think you're a bitch.
Remember your career? Pussy. Fuck you.
Jesus Christ. Absolutely insane. Nate, I have no problem with you. Well, I think you're a bitch. Like, oh my God. But yeah, all of this was unfortunate and unnecessary, but you can't try and rewrite the narrative and try and make it seem like you got paid by Showtime to be a Conor fanboy. Like, come on, Brendan, man. Come on. Have some shame. Have some fucking shame, please. Just own up to it. Just be like, look, hey, I got it wrong. It is what it is. But I don't know. I think, to be fair, like I said, I think the boxing fan base of people, they're very passionate about their shit. So if you get things wrong, they let you know. So I think Brendan's mentions around that time must have been fucking nuts because everybody knew him as being the Conor fanboy, the one that's backing Conor to win. And he probably had some money on it too. So his mentions must have been going nuts when fucking Floyd beat Conor. So maybe that was why he was, you know, trying to now say, oh, I didn't say it. But anyway, weirdo guy. What are you saying here? Good evening. Conor did win like 6 rounds, then gassed, got finished. Yep. It was close for the feel out rounds, but he got gassed and outclassed by a smaller man. Yep. The video would just go before Showtime directors came in. MMA well treated Conor like a god during that time. Yeah, do you remember exactly, John Smith? Exactly. Did somebody mention Ronda Rousey? Do you remember the Ronda Rousey thing also? Rogan did it. Remember Ronda Rousey? Rogan did it. Rogan was saying that Ronda Rousey was like, her boxing was so good that she could beat some men. Do you remember? Joe Rogan was saying that. Like everybody at that time was so gassed with MMA and the UFC. Like it was fucking insane. They were saying that fucking Ronda Rousey had like better boxing skills than some men. It's like, what? Honestly, man, like that whole era of fucking, I don't know. That era was fucking weird. Where's that clip of him talking about Showtime, saying that they fucking nearly fired him because he had got fucking COVID? Where can I find it? I think it might be this one. And then we'll move on to the fucking chin stuff because I want to listen to that as well. Look at this one. This one's fucking crazy. Let's see if maybe it's this one. Works too much. I think it might be this one. It might be this one. Might be this one. Let's see if this one.
People are gonna be like, okay,
the gig's up. Yeah. Then we'll find out how much he wants to box. Because we're making all this money. You're undefeated. It's all good. When you lose 2 in a row and you're not getting the likes of Nick Diaz, Conor McGregor, and you got to fight like these middle tier guys, we'll see if he actually wants to box. We'll see how much he loves it. Because once all the cameras start coming, you stop selling tickets. How bad do you want it?
Yeah,
it's like stand up. It's like a guy's been doing stand up and doing theaters. That goes away because your career goes like this, man.
Yeah.
You know, so everyone's career goes like this, and then it's like, well, how bad do you want to do stand up? Did you only want to do it when you're making $100,000 a weekend, or do you want to do it now when you're like grind and you're in fucking, you know, Oxnard or some shit and there's 100 people?
Yeah, well, that's a
like,
good
are you
point.
doing it for the love of it, or are you doing it for the fame?
Well, that's a good point. Just in everything we do as people, like I think the most successful people. That's why, you know, when you talked about earlier about like me believing I could beat any of these people in a street fight, little trolley, halfway serious. Devin Haney, 100% I believe that one. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll give you that.
Nate is like, I'm like, I kind of did it for the fucking. Yeah. But there is a part of me that like I have to believe in myself so much to that degree.
100.
Because like everything that I've done, like I didn't do being like, oh, maybe I can do this. Like
you'd never make it.
I would never make it.
It's also insane. Like any dream you have, when the first start of it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, just not to my own horn, but it's like going from the NFL to UFC is nuts. Going from UFC to headlining comic, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And if I would have listened or had any doubt, I would never make it, man.
I find his talent to always insert himself into these things fucking insane. Not to toot my own horn. You already did toot your own horn. You already mentioned yourself in the beginning there. Then you mention yourself again in the end. This guy's fucking incredible, man. Honestly, Brendan's ability to fucking insert himself into the fucking things is fucking brilliant. It's like perfect. I remember that's one thing I noticed when I went to New York all those years ago. I went to New York a long time ago, and one thing I realized when I went there was that I wasn't really good at fucking self-promotion. When I went to New York, there were people there that legitimately would like give you a sales pitch. They'll give you like an elevator pitch of who they were, what they were about, what project they're working on in like the space of like 5 minutes, maybe even sometimes less. And they'll really kind of, you know, they're not shy to say it. Whereas I came from a place in London or at a time in London where everyone was kind of a little bit, you know, shy, a little bit hesitant about saying what they did. But when I went to New York, I remember that being something that I kind of envied about. Shit, man, they're really good at fucking, you know, bigging themselves up, promoting themselves. And I think Brendan's got the same sort of thing, but his one's a bit twisted because he always finds a way to kind of give himself a pat on the back. You know, yeah, well, with me, you know, here I am, man. You know, with me, it's like going through this, it's like going with that. It's like, bro, how many times are you gonna pat yourself on the back? How many times are you gonna give yourself a bit of sloppy toppy? Like, Jesus Christ, let the other guy breathe a little bit. Fucking bizarre dude, man. Absolutely insane. But yeah, I guess it works for him, innit? I guess it works for him. We paid that. Yeah, let's do this as well. Let's do this. And then move on to the chin stuff. Yeah, exactly. I mean, basically, I walked away from the NFL to do UFC, took balls. Yeah, that whole story is fucking crazy, to be fair. Because the actual real story is still good. That's the thing I'm saying about Brendan being a pathological liar. He lies about playing in the NFL, but the actual fact that he was able to play at like college level and he did get onto the fucking practice squad or whatever it may be, that's still good. You know what I mean? That's still something to kind of like talk about. Like you can still boast about that. But he needs to add an extra bit of fucking unnecessary spice to it. That's why he's a dangerous person, because that kind of lying is just weird. You already have a cool story, but you need to add more to it because, you know, you want to make yourself seem extra awesome. Like, bro, The fact that you went from the fact that you went from different careers, you went from playing this type of sport, then that sport, then going to this podcast and comedy career. That's awesome as it is. You don't need to embellish it. That story is awesome. You know, getting a special after only a year and a half or 2 years of doing comedy. That's great. You don't need to fucking add more into it and fucking make it seem like whatever. It's just so unnecessary, man. But again, the guy's a pathological liar, so it kind of is what it is. So yeah, I think this is the clip where Brendan mentions that he nearly got fired from Showtime because he got COVID. Very interesting way to spin the whole thing, but I think this will again give you an indication of Brendan being very, you know, lacking in self-awareness and not really understanding how certain things are perceived by other people and why that may affect how he's looked at and why people may not like him. So I think it's an interesting clip to play. Let's get up on the screen. You see here the post on the Reds, TFATK sub, and let's get it up on full and let's play this.
With brands, have you had any like problems with employees or with like brands, or like have you issues that you had to like overcome?
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to think. When I was at Showtime and I got COVID, they wanted to fire me because I got COVID. This is like,
how do you fire someone for getting COVID?
I was like, good luck. Like the lawsuit, is that in my contract? Good luck. But shout out to.
But why would they fire you if you had COVID? I don't get it.
One of the lawyers just had it out for me that worked for CBS Showtime and was like, oh, this is the reason we can fire him. So they got on the horn. They had like this big meeting, and my boss Brian Day was like, dude, it's not good. You got COVID. I'm like, what's that have to do with anything, dude? I feel great. He's like, that's the problem. You're advocating that COVID's not that bad. God. I'm like, dude, I don't feel bad. My cardio got better. And he started laughing. I'm like, no, I'm serious, dude. I ride my bike every day.
Challenge.
Yeah, I was like, I feel great, man.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't say that. I was like, bro, if you fire me though, like, where's in my contract? It says if I get COVID, you can let me go. Like, that's.
You remember the Rogan thing when they was it on CNN? They put him and he did.
Okay, that might be one of the most insane lies I've ever heard in my entire life. Because again, think about it. With Brendan, there's always an element. There's always a kernel of truth. Always a kernel of truth when it comes to Brendan. So I didn't know this is true, but think back to when this happened with him getting COVID. I think, looking back at the whole timeline of Brendan Schaub's hate train, there was a point in time when he got hated on, when the whole Fox deal was up, when he started presenting stuff on E and dyed his hair white, and then I would say the COVID times, and maybe later on with the Bobby Lee stuff. But there's been several points, several key parts along the way of fucking Brendan's journey where people say, okay, cool, that's when the hate train intensified. And in my opinion, one of the main parts of his story where the hate train did get fucking crazy was COVID. Because if you remember correctly, during the whole COVID times, lockdown, whatever, Brendan and Bryan and that whole group of LA guys, not even the whole group of LA guys, just Brendan and Bryan and Chappelle, Malik, all those dudes, for some reason, they were one of the first and only comedians that were touring, like publicly and actually posting it. Some probably were doing it on a sly, but they were actually talking about dates and going places. Like, they didn't want to get locked down. They didn't want to give up their fucking comedy gig monies and shit. They were not having it. They hated COVID. They hated it from the minute zero. Not because they didn't think it was overblown or they thought the precautions were not necessary. No, they hated it because it prevented them from going on the road. Because most of those guys, you know, before COVID didn't spend any time at home. They hated being at home. They hate their children. They hate their wives, really. They love being on the road. They want to go to random comedy clubs and they want to fucking finger bang waitresses in the fucking toilets, do coke off the fucking bathrooms and shit and hang out. That's what they want to do. It's okay. And you make money doing it. But when COVID came around, it forced them all to stay at home. It also forced them not to be able to go to comedy clubs and perform. And they all fucking had a fucking visceral reaction to it. Like, no, we can't let that happen. So they all fought tooth and nail to go and fucking perform. And Brendan and Bryan were the first ones to go do it. And if you remember correctly, Brendan and Bryan were also incredibly skeptical of COVID in the first place, right? They were like, it's a hoax, it's overblown, it's just a cold. That's the thing he's not saying. He was one of those people that was saying COVID was just a cold. Because even if you are a COVID denier, you have to admit in the beginning of COVID, at the start of it, when we were seeing the Chinese people fucking throwing bodies in the back of fucking trucks and shit, right? And morgues and funeral places were running out of room and shit, and they were burning bodies, in open fucking fields in fucking parts of India. COVID in the beginning was fucking crazy. Right? People were dying all over the place. I remember when it spread to Europe, because there's parts of like Mediterranean Europe and Mediterranean countries, sorry, and Central Europe countries where traditionally a lot of the families live in the same buildings. I know a lot of my Spanish friends, a lot of my French friends, Italian friends are the same, where they have these houses where, you know, your grandma lives in the ground floor, your dad and parents live in the first floor, you live maybe on the second floor, but it's all like that, right? Families are all like that. So I remember when COVID spread across Europe, it fucking decimated, it tore, fucking went through Italy and Spain like a fucking flamethrower, because all of these old people were living in these houses, with loads of people in it, and it was fucking getting spread everywhere like quickly. So clearly in the beginning it was an issue, and everyone was obviously being a little bit scared for it because we didn't know what was going on. No one had the vaccine. It was locked down. These guys were going on the road aggressively going on the road, and as Hectic First Channel said, oh yeah, big up Hectic First Channel, good to see you, brother. They refused to do Zoom stand-up. I remember that being a thing. They thought they were above doing Zoom. They couldn't do Zoom. They hated it. They hated doing Zoom remotely. And if I remember correctly also, Brendan and Bryan were like COVID deniers. They didn't think it was a big deal. They thought it was a cold. They also caught COVID loads of times. I think there was one particular occasion Brendan went to do stand-up and got COVID and kind of infected his whole family. Yeah, in the beginning, right? They all caught COVID. Bryan got COVID twice and he nearly died. He looked like he actually was close to death. And all that stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the reason why the Showtime executive said he nearly got fired because of COVID. Because he's trying to make it seem like he got fired because he got COVID and that was it. No, he nearly got fired because of COVID at Showtime because he was pushing the whole anti-vax thing. He kept getting it and kept making it seem like it wasn't a big deal. There was a big controversy about Brendan getting COVID and not doing the whole, what's that thing do when you get COVID? What's that thing called? You meant to do, what's that thing called? You meant to, what's that thing you meant to do? Is it stay safe? You meant to do COVID, you meant to kind of go on this like 7-day thing, right? And I think Brendan didn't do that. I think he got COVID and he just posted a picture of himself the next day cycling. Yeah, quarantine. Sorry, thank you, John Smith. Do you remember? That was a big controversy. And I think websites, I think maybe MMA websites or some news websites posted Brendan on their page. Like he was written up on an article that he got COVID and he came back and he didn't fucking quarantine. He just went straight up on his e-bike and started posting pictures of himself on the fucking mountains having a good time. Honestly, like that's probably why he nearly got fired. That's the thing I'm saying to you. Brendan's pathological ability to lie is stupendous because there's always a kernel of truth in his lies. Yes, he nearly got lied because of COVID, but not because he just got COVID and he's an innocent bunny. No, because he was pushing anti-vax fucking propaganda and nonsense. He was minimizing the virus. He was spreading it everywhere. He was performing comedy even though there was strict lockdowns in places and whatever it may be. He didn't care about the rules. He was doing he was doing meet and greets. Do you guys remember? At the peak of COVID, Brendan was doing meet and greets. God bless those people who were fucking at the peak of COVID when we were all scared. Now we're not scared. Now we all know it's a fucking hoax. We're not a hoax. We know it's fucking overblown. We know that, there was a lot of fucking, weird shit that went into the vaccine. It was rushed, all that malarkey. We know it was fucking lab made, all this stuff, right? We all know this now. But at the time, we were scared of it, right? And I know for me, the last place I wanted to be at where the peak of COVID was at a fucking comedy club. I don't want to fucking die, with my fucking head in a bowl of fucking fries with a fucking warm glass of fucking Coca-Cola next to me. No, thank you. Especially listening to fucking Brendan and Bryan tell jokes. So God bless those people who did go out to see them perform during COVID. I hope it was worth it because I could have never done it. You know what I mean? The only thing I would have done during COVID is maybe gone and seen, Bert Kreischer do those fucking parking lot things, right? Those tailgate shows. I might have done that. But go and see Brendan and Bryan at the fucking Laugh Factory, at the fucking Ice House. Like, are you having this? Are you fucking joking? So yeah, I love how he doesn't really expand it, give you context, but that basically what happened. And if you want more context on it, there's actually a good little summary video here that I'm going to play, where they actually surmise what actually happened during that whole time, where everyone hated them for COVID, And somebody posted some Friday Kid a couple of years ago, which is really, really good. There we go. Here we go. We got it here. Dangerously, yeah, it's called, yeah, this is a go. Dangerously Stupid COVID Deniers, right? This is fucking incredible video. This is a good way to kind of give us an indication of how these guys were when COVID was happening. So you can see that it was worse than what he's trying to make it seem as. So let's play the video here. There's a title. You see it down the page. Let's get up on full screen. This will give you an indication of how destructive these guys were. Let's get a chart off the screen. Let's play.
Ending soon. Again, I'm a numbers guy.
Maybe 70% of the people are asymptomatic.
Times that are ending soon. Again, I'm a numbers guy.
Maybe 70% of the people are asymptomatic, but they can still pass it on. So that can be a problem, right? If you have that, a lot of old people, a lot of people at risk, you would have overrun hospitals.
Yeah, like the flu.
It is different. It is different. So we have to be sensitive to that.
Flu kills more, but yeah, sure.
You know, when
this Corona lockdown has me feeling all gay. There's this theory, right? There's a million theories. So these whole peaking things that notice nothing's peaking right now.
Notice nothing's peaking right now.
And they keep going, okay, not this next week, and keep moving the goal line.
Most people do not have this virus in the United States.
But even if they...
I should just read it. Up to 60% of Americans are expected to get it within the year.
Well, no, the odds are, yeah, most people don't. But even if you have it, it's...
The people that get...
But even if you have it, it's...
10 to 20 to 30% need to be hospitalized permanently to health damage as possible. Actually, you can read it anyway. You guys can see the words.
And I give you the stats that I gave you this morning of 97% of people who do get it are fine.
Yeah.
The percentage how deadly it really isn't.
Yeah.
And then I tell you, most of
the contagion level, by the way.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
So can I just say to everybody, measles has a contagion level of between 12 and 18. What that means is that between 12 and 18 people can catch it if you're around them. Highly contagious. Smallpox killed so many people through the 20th century and before, a contagion level of 3.5 to 6. Measles renders you sterile if you're a boy, usually, and led to pneumonia and all kinds of terrible things.
Horrible virus.
Smallpox was deadly in many cases and left scarring and everything else. Horrible way to die. Common cold has a contagion level of between 2 and 3. Seasonal strains of influenza are reported to have a contagion level of 0.9 to 2.1. Now,
that's the flu.
The early data on COVID-19 estimates are between 1.4 and 3.9. It's
look at the fucking numbers.
It's irresponsible.
It really is.
It's
and
irresponsible.
You're putting fear into everybody.
Yeah, and I know there are people listening right now who are like, "You have no idea." No, I do have an idea.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
I know stats, and it's pretty black and white.
Is it that much of a risk?
No, that's what I'm saying. Look at the numbers.
Yeah.
And these numbers, this isn't something me and Brian made up.
No.
These are the same numbers that any news outlet you're watching, they're spinning super negative. They're using these numbers.
Yeah, and
what's the what risk are you taking?
Yeah.
Again, I'm a numbers guy.
Yo, honestly, this might have been one of the most single-handedly one of the most like biggest own goals they've ever done. Honestly, in terms of a fan base, because imagine how divisive and how political fucking COVID was, how emotional it was for people. Right? I know friends of mine who weren't able to fucking see their parents or their grandparents passing away when in the hospital because there was weird protocols around who could be in hospitals and whatnot. There's people that probably didn't get particular procedures because of the waiting lines and the queues and the fact that COVID people were the ones that pushed forward in the fucking queue and shit. There was loads of things that happened during COVID that were really hurtful. People lost their jobs, lost their families, relationships probably broke down, I'm sure, for people having to stay at home for so long. Loads of things happened. But the one thing that bothered comedians the most, right, was that the fact that they couldn't perform on stage. That's the one reason why. Do you remember, like, also, I think for me, I fell out of love with a lot of comedy kind of podcasts and stuff because they were talking about COVID every single fucking day. It got so tiring because you actually wanted to go to these comedians to get a fucking break from reality, right? You didn't want to be constantly reminded about how horrible and dark it was outside and the fact that maybe your life may not be the same again. But they kept talking about the restrictions, the lockdowns, the this, the that, this controversy, ivermectin, you know, mitochondrial, whatever that fucking thing is. They couldn't fucking stop. Myocarditis, sorry, remember myocarditis or whatever that thing is, right? I just kept hearing these guys mentioning COVID every fucking day, and it was so fucking brain-numbingly boring. But also on top of this, or also, as Brendan will say, he was saying all this shit. He was talking from a point of authority, like he knew what he was talking about, and in the process alienating a part of his fan base that probably were a bit COVID scared. They were worried about their parents and shit, and hearing him just dismiss everything. Yo, that was such a big own goal. But I actually want to play last video here, the clip of fucking Bryan looking like he's about to die. That's one of my favorite ones during the whole COVID thing. Let me see if I've got it here on the screen where he clearly looked like he was about to die. Let me see if I got it. There's the one. Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry to play this. This is fucking incredible. Bryan talking about getting COVID and how he changed his mind and maybe it is a serious thing and it's, you know, it's not fucking bad thing. Let's see. Let's play it. Look at Brendan. Look at Bryan. he looked like he's been in a fucking 7-8 round fight with fucking Bud over the weekend, isn't it? He looked like he got fucked up. Not Spence. Let's play this.
From what I've heard, that's good, but I wasn't as responsible as I could be.
Well, you put out a PSA, which I thought was very responsible, telling your fans if you fist bumped me, or if I fingered you, something like.
Yeah.
No, well, you really.
Yeah. Well, too little, too late. Too little, too late, though.
Right.
You know, the problem is I've been such a vocal critic of the shutdown. I'm sort of, you know, looking at the stats and saying that it's not so deadly, but that's beside the point. The problem is it's disruptive. When you get it, you're on your back. Look, I'm pretty healthy, man, and it's 7 days, and I don't feel like doing anything.
Look at his face. Look how fucked up he looks. Honestly, man. Rinks, man. He joined in fucking Brendan. And if I'm not mistaken, Brendan got it like 3 times. Once he spread it to his family. Once he gave it to Chin. Right? He gave it to Chin and that was pretty wild and he didn't want to admit it. So he fucking broke he broke Chin's neck. He didn't want to pay for his fucking medical cost. Then he gave him fucking COVID and nearly took him out. Then Callen got it for listening to Brendan. Brendan really is the fucking... He was the, he was the fucking super spreader.
And some people fall off a cliff after day 7 with men, for whatever reason. Men can have like a bad turn at like a week. So, but for the most part, we know if you're under 74 without coexisting morbidities, you're going to be okay eventually.
Oh, really?
The problem is,
oh, really?
You know, you're still exposing other people, and that's the part that I wasn't very responsible for.
How many were in the crowd on those nights that you were playing?
Over 300.
Wow. By the way,
including the night we got an Amber Alert.
Honestly, you niggas out there must have been so desperate for fucking a distraction that you would go to see fucking Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub do comedy. All 300 of you in these clubs during COVID. I don't know about you, but when COVID was happening at its peak, I was one of those fucking big pussies that was staying at home. I was fucking, what's that thing called? What's that phrase? I had that phrase on my fucking wall. Stay safe, save lives. I was that guy. I was one of those losers. I was stay safe, save lives. I had that fucking, I bought one of those shields from Amazon. I bought one of those fucking plastic shield things, right? I was wiping down my groceries with antibacterial sprays, thinking I'm doing something, like thinking, you know what I mean? I was in the shops, like with my fucking what you call it, my social distancing in the shops. Like you have to stay within arm's distance and shit. I was on those fucking losers, so I couldn't imagine breaking fucking COVID and going outside to go and watch a comedy show. I couldn't imagine it, honestly. But you know, maybe some people would look at me and think I was a pussy. So you know, it is what it is.
On our phone. As I was driving to the club, I got
yeah, Super Jello. AZ did a line of his shield. Yeah, I might have actually done it. I might have actually gone. I think there might be. Oh, actually, I think I deleted it. I think I might delete it. I think there might be a live stream of me. I think I might delete it. I think there might be a live stream of me DJing with my mask on or something. I went to Pirate Studios and I had a fucking face mask on with gloves DJing because I was scared about. But here I am in the studio. That's fucking got no ventilation. That's soundproofed. But I'm worried. But it's like, what? Yeah, exactly. People would get mad if you're 6 foot. Exactly. Honestly, COVID was such a crazy time, man. We were all fucking going crazy. Like, I mean,
what looked like an Amber Alert, which was to say that in this county, cases have spiked immeasurably, and so 90 people canceled. But I got a show, and the problem is I'm on stage. I'm doing a show like we all were. And when you come off stage,
Like we all were. Look at this snitch. Don't knock and snitch on people. That's what I didn't like about them. When they were doing shows and they were getting called out for it, they were like, yeah, but it's not just us. They're doing it too. No. Don't point and fucking snitch at others. Just take your licks so you need to take them and keep it moving. Or if you don't care, just say fuck yourself and keep it moving. They were just knocking on everybody around them. But it's not us. They're doing it. They've got shows. He's showing too. It's like, no. Shh. Come on, bro. Don't be a fucking Randall.
The only way to the green room is through a crowd of people screaming and shouting and standing up. So what happens is you're walking through a COVID cloud. Again.
Look at Brian's face. You were good to look at him. Look at how awful he looks. Look how sunken in his face. That is a guy on death's door. Fucking hell. COVID absolutely humbled this man, and it humbled him good and proper.
I take full responsibility for that.
The droplets, the aerosols.
I'm not waiting for a vaccine. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what happened. So basically, that end bit, what he said there, right?
Droplets, the aerosols.
I'm not waiting for a vaccine.
So basically, I think that was the main problem with these guys. They didn't want to give up their, live comedy gig, checks and shit, which they all become accustomed to. But they also have an extreme nut to cover monthly. Because I think Bryan might have been divorced at that time. He pays like 20 grand per month in alimony or something crazy, right? And maybe it's including child support. I'm not really too sure. But most comedians outgoing, especially in LA, that's an expensive place, is crazy. So they really couldn't afford to sit down. They couldn't afford to stay safe and save lives. They needed to work. They needed the money to keep up, their fucking Tesla payments and keep the house and whatnot, keep their kids going to fucking Sierra Nevada, wherever that fucking private school is. Like, the pressure on these guys during COVID must have been absolutely crazy. I can't imagine how it must have been, man. So, I get the fucking thing about that. And then let's play this one too. This is another COVID one. There's so many COVID ones here I want to play for you guys because I fucking love these. These are fucking good little throwbacks. And we're gonna move on to the chin stuff. Let's play this one as well. Oh wow, this is on the subreddit called "I'm a total piece of shit." Okay, cool. They've got this on the "I'm a total piece of shit." Fucking yeah. Look, mega fan, you're my COVID now. Hilarious. They've got this post on I'm a total piece of shit subreddit. Look at this. It's fucking beautiful, mate. Absolutely love this. So let's get this on here. Oh, look, we got the cat there. Big up cat. Long time no see. Is Cat still on OnlyFans? Is she still doing it? I don't know. I think someone said she wasn't, right? Is Cat still killing on OnlyFans or she quit that? That cat arc was interesting. Actually, you know what? Credit to Cat also. Cat's a fucking is a good girl because she left and didn't do the whole BGO going on a fucking hate tour and, saying all fucking Bryan and Brennan's business. She left classy and just kept her mouth shut and is doing her thing and has been left alone. She did well not to kind of get herself in the mud and start going on shows and start going on streams talking and shit. So big up her, man, for just keeping quiet. Oh, Uche says she definitely is on OnlyFans still. Okay, cool. She definitely still there. Fair play. But yeah, let's play this clip. She definitely still is on OnlyFans.
We've been talking a big fucking game like idiots. We've been fucking like blah, 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 blah about COVID. Now both of us have it.
Look at that post on the top right. This is one of Brendan's posts, right? And yeah, Brendan also refused to be humble. I think Bryan was a bit more humble about it when he got COVID. Brendan was like still like being arrogant and not wanting to admit that maybe he got it wrong. Look at Brendan's post there. He's doing that sassy clapping thing in between words, right? Cases don't matter, only deaths. Figure it the fuck out or hide in your house like while everyone else is going back to normal. Educate yourself and look at the decline in deaths. 7,000 people died in America, not from corona. Like, these guys are so angry. They wanted to get outside. They wanted to get away from their families so badly.
I'm fucked up. I deserve it.
At least you got the big UFC this weekend. Hopefully we'll be able to do a fight campaign with Rogan.
Could I have been more careful coming back? Yes. And I wasn't, and I apologize.
Hopefully we'll be able to do a fight campaign with Rogan.
for sure.
And we're live. The COVID crew cannot make it. Brendan Schaub is 100%. He even tested negative.
So I took 2 tests last week. I keep calling, like, where's my results? Where's my results? And they go, oh, sorry, buddy. Well, we lost the results, so we need you to come back in.
Brendan Schaub is 100%. He even tested negative.
So I took 2 tests last week. Well, we lost the results, so we need you to come back in.
Tested negative.
Well, we lost the results.
You're a bald-faced liar.
Imagine lying so you could go and see Rogan. Like, I always say this, and I'll say it again. Brendan Schaub loves Joe Rogan more than he loves his own dad. And when the day does come that fucking Rogan hits the can, he's going to cry in a way you guys would never believe on air. It's going to be fucking crazy. He's going to be having snot running down his face. He's going to be fucking shaking in his chair and shit. It's going to make the Crystalia thing seem like a walk in the park. I guarantee you. Watch. When Rogan hits the can, the way he's going to cry, he might mourn for like a month straight. It's gonna be wild. Anyway, and then the last one, this is him. What's that? This chin stuff, right? Or no, let's move to chin stuff. Let's move to chin stuff. This is not actually. Let's play this last one. Then we go to the chin stuff. Let's play this one. When Chin got COVID, right, because of Brendan, but then he said he didn't give it to him.
Right now. Chin, have you been quarantining?
Yeah. Yeah, Chin's had the same symptoms as Stevie. He's had like the night sweats.
You have?
Last night and this morning, I didn't sleep at all last night. Maybe like 20 minutes, but then I did.
So how do you feel? Are you having a sympathetic sickness?
Right now, I feel better, but then I just developed a cough like this early, like 4 a.m. this morning. But I'm not coughing right now either.
Brendan gave it to him. Look at his face. He knows well and truly he gave it to him. So he nearly fucking broke this guy's neck, gave him COVID, only let him go on holiday to visit his family in Korea for fucking 7 days, and he spent only 5 days there. Like, honestly, man, it's just non-stop hurt for fucking Chin over there at the fucking Thick Boy Studios. Fucking brutal. And then I think the last one is the one with Will Sasso. Is the one with the Will Sasso one here? Because that one might be one of my favorite bits as well. When Will Sasso actually tears those guys apart. There we go. We got it here. Will Sasso's best appearance on The Fighter and the Kid outside of all the impressions and shit. This was great. When they got on Skype call with Will Sasso and he just fucking called him out. Fucking brilliant. Let's play this one. This is the one. Let's play this one. Big up Will Sasso.
Providing the news, because clearly no one would just go into a fucking studio somewhere to record a podcast.
You're right, dude.
That's not about MMA. I don't know. And just, to fucking just shoot the shit. Right?
Thanks, Will.
Right.
Thanks, Will. I appreciate it, Will. You know what's crazy too is we've actually doubled down. We have three episodes a week now.
That's right.
During this quarantine
Oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Because we are essential because we break it down, bro.
And tell them, how's business be?
Better than ever.
Booming. I was hoping you said booming.
Booming.
Okay. So while that's good. So while the people who do real work in this country are suffering by staying home, you guys are capitalizing on that by making money. And let's move on to that news. So what do you guys have to fucking tell me about the coronavirus as if you know what the fuck?
No, hold on.
Well,
hold
what
on.
questions you got, Will?
Couple things. Both he and I are
Fire
negative.
away.
Everybody in this room is negative. Number one. Number two.
We've all been tested.
Number two.
Wait a minute. You guys have all been tested?
Yep.
For what?
Corona.
For antibodies. Turns out we're all negative.
Are you talking about that virus that may be asymptomatic?
Yeah, but
blood test, brother.
Blood test, brother.
Blood test.
We took blood tests.
Cool. So you guys all live together then?
Well,
no, that's weird. So basically that blood test meant nothing.
Honestly, I love Will Sasso, man. He absolutely destroyed him. That was really, really good. I love that whole occasion. That whole time was fucking brutal. It was good to see them get absolutely torn to pieces and, be told about the realities of what they may or may not have done during the whole COVID times. But yeah, BRYAN, CALLEN getting COVID, nearly dying was fucking hilarious and everything around. Anyway, let's go to Chin Soo Yi. Let's see what Chin Soo Yi is saying. Chin Soo Yi's got a new vlog, part 2 of his Korea trip. Let's see. Hope he doesn't depress us. Hope it's nice and jolly like the other one. Let's see what Chin is saying.
And look what my mom and dad are doing right now. It's raining. So my mom is holding the umbrella for my dad. Yes.
Oh, and by the way, that woman I was thirsting on in the last fucking vlog that I reviewed of fucking Chin's, I thought that was Chin's auntie. It's actually his mum. So I owe Chin a big apology for thirsting on his mum on stream. You know what I mean? I thought this lady was his auntie. I didn't know that was his mum. That's a bit nuts. So as a mark of my apology, I'm gonna like his fucking video. And hopefully you'll forgive me for thirsting on his fucking mum on live stream and wondering what that mouth do. That is definitely something that you shouldn't be doing when you see someone's mum, right? Anyway, let's continue. Let's fucking continue here. Let's continue.
Oh, no. Because she wants to make sure that she's covered. And now my dad has to. My dad is the... I'm not going to say it. But yeah, anyway. Called Meat Street, Kogi Street. It's all meats, all pork and beef. Oh, moshsa. I saw this in a video.
Yeah.
Wow. All meat, all day, all night. That's my kind of life. We are now making our way into Insadong, which we were there yesterday. Apparently we're in Insadong, but we're not sure. Looking for...
Korea is fucking beautiful though, isn't it? I'd love to fucking visit South Korea, man. It looks fucking fun place to be. All these different little... It kind of reminds me a little bit, you know, of, I guess, most Southeast Asian countries, but most specifically Tokyo and shit. All these little narrow little alleyways and whatnot, little hole-in-the-wall places you can find that are probably not, you know, on Google Maps. Yo, big up Generics Online. Thank you, brother.
SCHAUB is an interesting psychological case study axed.
Yeah, Axe J, exactly. It couldn't say Axe J, but big up Gerenzics. I appreciate you, mate. Thank you so much. But yeah.
Spot to grub it up, and you know I'm looking for a spot to sit there. Little seafood market. That's a mullet, which I would not eat. Ah, mullet. I'm just pretending I'm focusing on everything else, but look at his eyebrows. That's all I'm saying. Yes. Yeah, pojomacha Thai is it's probably more popular at nighttime.
What we saying? The bottom is saying Southeast Asia. I know it's late, but redacted. Oh, okay, cool. Because it's technically what, East Asia, right? Okay, but you know what I mean. Come on, don't try and fucking paint me out to be a fucking Brendan. You know what I mean. I didn't say fucking Korea is the fucking state. You know what I mean? Or anything. All right, cool. It's technically not Southeast Asia because it's actually East Asia. I get it. Cool, no worries. No problem there. But come on, man. Come on. I didn't confuse fucking Korea for fucking Thailand or some shit. You know, like...
Korean Jay Leno, just saying. Dude, once in a while, Dad. Korea. You know, I did it for like 3.
When is the 4th of July? That's something I have to own up forever. I'm never going to live that one down. The 4th of July is on the 31st. Oh, fucking hell. I fucking love it. The 4th of July is on the 31st. It's amazing. I love it. Anyway, let's continue.
3 years, right? But then I stopped. I don't do anything. It's what? Never seen a red-headed pigeon. It's a ginger pigeon. I didn't know they existed. I guess they do in Korea. I could literally have that face if I wanted to. Intadongyeeo. Plenty of places to shop. Some little merchant stands. Now we're buying hats apparently, but I cannot wear a hat because my head and face do not fit a hat. Bought these for Brendan and Brian. Let's see how they take it.
Chin went to Hong Kong.
Went to Korea.
Yeah, exactly. See, this motherfucker thought Chin was in Hong Kong, and I said Southeast Asia instead of saying East Asia, and I'm getting fucking pelters. Come on, mate. Hong Kong, you know.
Went to Korea. I'm gonna need you to.
That's technically East Asia still, right? Yeah.
Fucking.
I thought he went to both.
He said Tokyo earlier, then Hong
You know,
Kong.
he's Korean. Can you please respect the difference?
That's a running bit me and Chin been doing.
I know.
I keep picking different
Chinese,
places.
Taiwanese, Japanese, Korean, all very
Do you do any fashion out there, Chin? They got good fashion out there.
Speaking of fashion, I got you guys some gifts here.
What?
So these are all the rage in Korea, no joke. Which color do you guys prefer?
Give Brennan the pink.
It's not in pink. It's like
That's a pink,
peach
dude.
or something.
That's a
Pink is
samurai. That's a
lavender.
samurai pink if I've ever seen it.
So these are because skincare is really important in Korea.
Is there a lot of sun out there?
I mean, they just really care about skincare.
Oh, were people still
So
in
they-
masks? Were people still in masks out there?
Masks and then.
But you guys been rocking
and
masks since the
visors.
'60s.
What's up?
You guys been rocking
You-
masks
you-
since the '60s.
Yeah,
Like
forever.
Asians-
I wore a mask even before.
Yeah, you'd wear a mask
before
for
the
the
COVID
fuck.
stuff.
I never trust people that do that.
So just like slap that on, and I got one for Georgie too.
Oh snap!
Jen, you really went all out.
I did. Here you go, George.
Oh snap!
It's all the rage in Korea. That looks dope, dude.
Georgie's bucket hat's cool.
Do you see how much it protects you?
Except for
Especially if
my
you go.
blowhole
The
back
summer's
here.
coming.
And I guess if I'm not mistaken, again, this is me not having any knowledge of it. If I'm not mistaken, the reason why they do this in Asian countries is because I guess they prefer to be fairer skinned. Is that the reason why they don't want to get tanned and shit? Why do they always? What's the thing with the umbrellas and shit? Because you have obviously a big Asian community here in London as well, and they always walk around with fucking umbrellas if it's too hot. Is it generally because they don't, they want to keep cool under the shade and shit, or because they don't want to tan at all? They prefer to be more kind of like, paler looking in terms of skin wise. What is the deal with all that shit? Because I guess if you wanted to, you could technically just add fucking, shit on your face and make you look more paler and stuff. What is it? Tan means tan your paw because you're out in the fields, isn't it more? Damn, that's horrible, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's the same like in India, isn't it? It's the same in India. The Indians are the same. The Indians who look closer to me are the ones who are looked down upon. The ones who have more European features and are lighter are the ones that look like they're fucking, the best ones. Fuck. So if I was in Asia, I'd look like what? I'd be working in the mines, innit? I'd be in the mines. I'd be cleaning the fucking windows. I'll be taking out the trash. I'll be outside all day. No, this one. No, this one. Not him. What you got? The black guy. The black one belongs in there in the back. The black in the back. The black in the back. No, the black outside. All day outside. No inside. The black outside. I'll be like, come on, man. I've been out here all day, Kim. Can I come in a little bit? No, you. You bad. You come in here with your boom boom music and no. Oh man, fuck. White is right and black is not, I guess, right? Oh fuck, man. What a horrible time to be alive, man. What can you do? We stay strong though, we stay strong.
It's gonna get hot. It's like dope, dude.
This is
dude. The sun, not today.
awesome.
Satan, not today. Did they ever fold it up like this?
You can do whatever you want, yeah.
I'll use this.
You
I'll
want
play
to protect
tennis in
yourself.
this.
You look like a pilgrim.
Well, I look like a lady. I look like a nun.
No, you look like
It's a flying habit.
No, you look like you own a horse house in Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look like a handmaid. I look,
You look like you own a whorehouse in Handmaid.
Yeah. I'm a handmaid and you're gonna fuck me.
Yeah.
In that thing.
Why is, again, maybe I'm not the best judge of this, so I like to always approach this with a pinch of salt. No, not a pinch of salt. I like to talk about this like with some level of like objectivity. For the guys and girls in the chat who have healthy adult relationships where they have friends and stuff, right? More than I do. They have maybe, if you're in a chat and you have more than 5 actual friends that you hang out with, of varying different personalities, some from work, some from school, some from this, some from that. Honestly, please tell me if you're a guy. Do you talk about dicks and like fucking guys and sucking and all this shit as much as these guys? Like, do you joke about that sort of stuff on a regular? Because I feel like I'm a bit of a boy's boy. Like, you know, I'm a lad. I play sports and shit. I like to rough and tumble. But I honestly don't think I've spoken to my friends that I know about dicks and sucking and, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we fucked and stuff like this? It's not something you joke about. It's not like humor. It's not something you bring up all the time. Exactly. No, but 8 inches. Exactly. Could you please someone tell me this? Only on Saturdays. Okay, cool. Only on Saturdays. Like, because I think this is odd for these guys. Because one guy's in his 40s with 2 kids. One guy's in his 60s with 3 kids. I find it very odd that they speak this way as grown men with like children. Or maybe I'm just the redacted one here. I hope to... You're a pedestrian. Okay, fair enough. Don't talk about it, be about it, says Jello. Don't talk about it, be about it. Exactly. Are you sucking and fucking or not? Are you really about this life or not? I remember, like, it's like on my side of social media, everybody was fucking surprised to hear that what's his face? Troye Sivan, right? That gay guy who's got the song out now at the moment that's fucking amazing. Rush. I feel the rush, addicted to your touch, right? He came out recently and basically said, even though he looks like a twink, he basically said he's a top or something, right? He's not a bottom. And everyone was fucking shocked on my side of the social media. It's like, that made me laugh. So maybe you have to really be in the field. You have to be out there with Troye Sivan dancing and shit around. But I don't get it, man. I just think it's odd that they have this kind of humor. Personally, I think it's really bizarre. But again, what do I know? RW saying it depends on which friend, if they're a little bit woohoo. The only time was when a guy was hitting on one of my friends in the club. Look, it's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, I find it odd when you're that age to have that, because I think it's funny to have like, you know, I don't know, fart jokes are funny when you're like under 16 or some shit, right? Maybe at a particular time when you're an adult, it can be funny too. But over time, you know, you're not just walking around with a fucking whoopee cushion in your hand, you know, at this age. That's a bit strange. I find the equivalent of telling, you know, are we going to fuck each other jokes is the same level of like, do you carry around fart gas and whoopee cushions with you all the time?
This is great.
Fuck yeah, thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.
Feels good.
Thank you, Jen.
No sun.
There's like a ton of these cool random shops out here. Everything, hats, jewelry, accessories. It's pretty fun.
Wow.
And we are now leaving 인사동.
끝났죠. 요즘은 그
We capped it over here to Mapogu, and this place is called Mangwon Market. We're trying to find some grubbies. 맛있어. I love this stuff. It's street food type of stuff. 나 그거 안 먹어요.
Honestly, I'd get so fat on this trip. I would get so fat on this trip. If I ever went to Korea, I'd get so fucking fat. I'd be eating everything in sight. I'd go to the fucking, you know, ATM, withdraw fucking $200, however much you need to withdraw out there, convert it, or maybe just take out the ATM with the local currency, and whatever I see, a stand, especially if it was like an older lady or something, like, you know, you can trust them, right? Because you know they'd be cooking all their fucking lives, and I'd be just buying everything as long as it was fucking fried, right, and covered in some sort of breadcrumb or something.
What's up? Giant peppers, gochu, just like mine. I just want to stop at this place real quick.
뭐 먹고 싶어?
어떤 거? 이거야? spam?
7 or 10 them.
이건 number 2.
10. 2번.
And then mom, dad?
계란.
김치 아빠 뭐?
김치 아니야.
By the way, I love how they spell spam. Spam.
아니야.
We have to split it up, right?
It's also better to go with a group. You know what I mean? If you're going by yourself, it's a bit long. But if you go with a group, you can always order loads of food like this, and then just kind of keep sharing along the way and having little bits and pieces, so you get to eat way more. Without having to eat fucking whole plates and shit, because these are pretty big portions, to be fair.
아니. 정식은 내가 낼게. 반찬이 없어요? 너무 스파이시 안 넣어. 맛있다.
That's better than LA. We are now walking to Hongdae. It's gonna be like a 20-minute-ish walk. 이름이야 진수.
Dirty merch. Who does he post these for? You know what's funny you say that though? You know it's funny you say that because if you go through his channel, right? I don't know what happened with Chin. His early vlogs, like ones from maybe a couple of years ago, they get some real high views. I think he's got some on like 100,000. I think last time I checked. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure I saw it. I'm pretty sure there's some. Let me just double check. Let's just see this. I'm pretty sure if you go on Chin's vlog channel. So I'm not just so there was a time period. I'm just saying this. There was a time period where people cared about Chin's vlogs and they went to watch them. I don't know if that was back when Brendan was more popular and shit. But look, if you click popular on his channel, look, he's got one vlog here. A day in the life of a podcast producer, 131,000 views. He's got a Korean barbecue vlog in LA, right? 82,000 views. Oh, look, when Chin had a girlfriend. Fuck, when Chin had a girlfriend, man, nearly 60,000 views. So clearly there was a market for this before in the past, but nowadays, I guess maybe not so much. Look, 50,000. 48,000, 71,000. People used to love Chin's vlogs. They used to love them. So that's probably why he still does them. But unfortunately, it's not the same anymore. Now you go to his latest ones and he's barely cracking 10K. Look, he's barely cracking 10K on them. So Chin's channel has fallen off hugely. What do you guys think's happened? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think Chin was botting his views? Do you think he was buying views the same way he was buying views for Brendan? Or do you think he just fell off that hard with these vlogs and people don't care about him anymore? What do you guys think? Because he was getting 100,000 views on these vlogs before. What do you think happened? What do you think has happened? Was he botting the views or did he just fall off and no one cares? Because there's not a single vlog here that's like over 10K in the last few months. Even the one with him with Rampage and moving in his house. 1.6, his guitar cover also, come on. Why do you upload that? I don't know. 8.3 going to the UFC. What do you think happened there? Definitely Papa bought his views for him. YouTube screws creator, says Dylan B. Yeah, true, maybe. Because a lot of vloggers are changing and switching up their thing, innit, right? More here. Yeah, man. Chin's vlog views have really dipped crazy over the years. 3 years ago, it's 100,000. Now he's barely getting 10K. Wild. So I don't know. Chin doesn't look. Maybe because I don't know these people, so I can't say this. But Chin doesn't strike me as somebody that would buy views, though. Maybe I'm being a bit naive. He doesn't strike me as somebody that would buy views. I think he's a bit more of a content creator in the purest sense. You know, he's just doing this for his own fun. But yeah, it's crazy, man. One time it was 10K. 100K and now he's barely getting 10K. But anyway, let's go back to the video. But yeah, big up you, whoever said that, man. You made me laugh. Who does he make these for? He makes them for me. That's what he makes them for.
멋있어. I guess this is Hongdae.
Hongdae means 홍익대학교, Queen University.
Oh. Look how packed this area is.
Oh my god, I think some burger nearly came out of my nose. It was that Jian at the bottom. He's 50 and alone, not a draw B. That legitimately made snot come out of my nose. Oh my god. You guys are so brutal. Brutal but true. He's 50 and alone, not a draw B. Fucking hell. Okay, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true.
It's 9:30. We just took a nap, woke up, and now we're going to go eat somewhere. I think Chimek. We'll see. It's raining.
아니면은 어떻게 더 걸어가볼까? BBQ야?
No.
BBQ?
No, let's go here.
Exactly, Crash. Chin can't pull in his homeland. He thinks he's a white man. I said it before in a previous fucking stream. But can you imagine the amount of pressure Chin comes under when he goes back home? I know for me being black how it is with my fucking family, right? Africans as well, right? You always ask, oh, when are you going to marry? When are you going to have kids and shit, right? When are you going to have children? I can imagine Asian culture is probably quite similar to black cultures and shit in terms of that pressure to, like, you know, get settled down, start a family. Can you imagine the pressure Chin's under being his age? Or maybe he's at a point now he's so old people just don't bother anymore. He's a lost cause. But I think he must get loads of questions about that from people. Haven't you found yourself a nice American girl? When are you going to give us grandkids? Like, oh, the pressure must be awful, man. Like, so it must be one of those kind of bittersweet moments when you see your fucking family. You want to see them, but then you also don't want to be grilled, you know what I mean, on like why you haven't hooked up with somebody yet. Yeah, Korean people can drink, man. Korean people can drink. They are fucking good. They can hang. Because I'm not the best drinker in the world. I get a bit sloshed too easily. But these guys can fucking drink. The sake and the beers. It obviously helps because they're eating a lot. So it lines your stomach, I guess. It soaks all that fucking alcohol up and shit. But wow, man, they can fucking put it down.
Chicken has arrived. I'm
Yeah, Josie, yeah, it never ends, innit? It's the same when you have one, they ask for the next one that's coming. Yeah, it probably never ends, actually. You're probably right. This probably never ends. You don't have one, they want one. You have one, they want two. You have two, they want three. You have all boys, they want one girl. It just keeps going. Oh, sorry, my bad. Not sake. It was suju, wasn't it? That's suju, yeah, not sake. Sake is the Japanese shit, isn't it, right? Is sake the Japanese shit? That is Japanese shit, right? Sake.
You're watching soccer. This is one of my favorite things ever. Pickled radish.
Pickled radish. I guess, is that like? Do they eat that like kimchi on the side, or what's that? I've never seen that. Also, this guy, man, like, you're seeing your family for the first time in a long time. It's been maybe so many years. You're going back home with your fucking, you know, with your parents also, which is something that not a lot of people get to do, to go on holiday with their parents, especially the older you get. And then you're spending all your time there fucking with a fucking camera in your face as you're eating. Like, just put the phone down and just eat, brother. Enjoy yourself, you know? Like, it's just, come on, Chin, have a good time. Put the phone down or put it on a stand or something, you know what I mean? He's just there filming himself like that with his hand in. Like, funny dude.
It's too hot. 진짜 it's 매워. 진짜 매워.
이거야 이거 진짜야.
네. Home Alone. We ate peppers and it's just too dang hot, so they had to like eat all this stuff to mask it. Yeah, it's so hot.
왜 어떨 때는 출근 시간이 9시인데 출근하는 거는 지금 네가 하는 얘기하고 나는 그렇게 생각 안 해요. 애들이 공식적으로 정기적으로 발령을 다.
Just like that, we're done. Go back home. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We still have yet to go to Korean barbecue here in South Korea. Gotta get that done by tomorrow or the next day. Oh, look how romantic. My mom might.
What they call? What's Kahunga saying? Oh no, I don't interact with the audience, so I'm not gonna read it, innit? If I don't interact with the audience, I won't read it. They're like, hey, Carl, my friend. If I don't interact with the audience, why am I gonna read it? Let's continue.
Yeah.
얼굴이.
난 언니 얼굴
나만
하나도 안
없지.
빨갛잖아 언니. 살짝 취했는데.
Now you're right, Hectic First Channel. You're right. Honestly, I don't mind Chin filming his family. It's like how many years they got left. No, you're right. You're right. Clearly, they don't mind. Also, I just know how my family are. Innit? They'd be fucking giving me fucking daggers if I tried to do that with my family. But they clearly don't mind it. It is what it is. Everyone's different. He's making a vlog. Obviously, he's going to film some of his content. It is what it is. I'm just being a nitpicky cunt.
됐어요? It's not 추워, Mom. It's so warm still. I don't think I did a tour of this Airbnb. So here's our TV. There's a mirror here. That's our AC units. A bunch of prescription pills from my parents. I don't know what they are.
Oh, I thought those pills came with the Airbnb. I thought those pills came with the Airbnb. Honestly, that would be pretty sick, innit? I thought those pills came with the Airbnb. That would be fucking sick.
It's good, huh?
Jorge says, "Hey AZ, have you ever seen the chin surgery vlog? He legit is on the pod, and has to have surgery. Emergency surgery. Then he has to come back to TFATK to upload." No, I'm gonna write that down though. Was it called emergency? Was it called the chin surgery? Okay, cool. I'm gonna note that down. I'll watch it for the next one. Surgery vlog, yeah. All right, cool. Let's do that. Watch chin surgery vlog. That seems like a good one. He went to go get surgery and then he had to go the next day back to work. I fucking love, honestly. Chin on holiday with his parents in his Airbnb, uploading episodes of TFATK. Oh my god, man. Chin deserves to get paid more and he's overworked. But hey, what can you do? Let's move.
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah. Bathroom, which is this is such a crazy bathroom because it's so small. The room I had before was even smaller. But anyways, so this is our little bathroom here, and in Korea, the shower is also part of the bathroom floor. So this shower head is right here. Here's a sink.
How do you meant to shower?
To do, brushing your teeth or whatever. It's so small.
That is why that reminds me of like bathrooms in like fucking Paris and shit. because there's not much space over there, they got some fucking weird layouts. Like the bathroom is right next to your fucking bed. So they've got this bathroom where it's also a fucking like, what? Look at this shit. Because if you look at the tile, it is actually a shower room. Look at the tiles on the floor.
This is such a crazy bathroom because it's so small.
See, it's got tiles on the floor that look like, so you're meant to shit here. You shit here, you shower. Well, after you showered and all the shit's gone down somewhere around, I don't know where the hole is or the sinkhole is. I guess it might be a sinkhole somewhere down here for your shower juice to go down, and then you can brush your teeth after the fact. Yo, this is that is a wild way to fucking conserve space. Have you ever seen that? A shower head connected to the tap of your fucking bathroom sink. Oh my God, can you imagine sharing this room with fucking Brendan? Brendan's pissing in the sink. You have to shower, and imagine how funky this bathroom is going to smell if you live with Brendan. Brendan's pissing in here because he can't bother to piss there. He can't bother to lift the lid up. It's too much hassle, so he just pisses right on here. And then you come in with no sandals on, with your bare feet touching the fucking floor, having to... Can you imagine that? Can you fucking imagine? Piss everywhere. Just piss all over the walls, piss over the sink, piss just everywhere. Handles, splashy splash mountain. Look here as well. Your toothbrush might be on here too. You'll probably have your toothbrush here if you're in Airbnb with Brendan. He's pissing all over here. All the splashes getting on your toothbrush. You have no idea. You have no idea that there's piss all over your toothbrush. There's piss all over your loofah, whatever. Not loofah, your makeup removal thing that girls use to take off their makeup or whatever. There's piss everywhere here. Everywhere there's piss. Maybe on your little contacts case, it might be piss all over it. God almighty. God bless Korea, but this is a horrible way to lay out a fucking bathroom. I'd rather shower outside like a fucking dog. Like, hose me down like a dog than this. Honestly. Hose me outside like a fucking Labrador. I'd take that. Than having to shower, next to a sink behind the door on top of these wooden tiles or some shit. No, thank you. Shower me outside. Hose me down like a fucking boxer. Right? Hose me outside there.
Small. The room I had before was even smaller. But anyways, so this is our little bathroom here. And in Korea, the shower is also part of the bathroom floor. So this shower head is right here. Here's a sink to do, brushing your teeth or whatever. It's so small. So let me close this real quick. This is...
Come on, man. Come on. This is some joke thing. How you meant to shower there? I'm fucking huge. I'm fucking huge, mate. My bum alone will be fucking knocking against the door every time I'm moving. Honestly, my bum will be tapping against the walls. I'm trying to get the fucking tapping against the wall. Honestly, I'll be tapping against the wall. I don't know how to get this shower. I couldn't move. Oh, fuck.
Insanely small.
There's a oh my God. Guys, you have to lift up one of the tiles to expose the fucking hole, the sinkhole where all your water, all your shower juice goes through. So imagine Brendan's pissing in a sink, it overflows, you get some on the tile, so you might touch your feet on there. Yo, what a weird design for a bathroom. I've never seen this ever in my life, honestly. I've never seen this. The shower connected to the fucking taps in the bathroom. You shower in there. Oh my gosh. Oh my fucking gosh. All your fucking toiletries fall in the sink accidentally from time to time. You have to shit in there too, by the way.
Feet are out. You can see this right here. This will probably give you a better idea of how small this bathroom is. Look at my feet, my legs. I'm I'm literally like, what, a quarter of this entire bathroom.
Oh, dude, honestly, oh mate, it'd be trouble for me in there. It'd be fucking trouble. It'd be fucking trouble for me, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking how much trouble I'm trying to get my circumference in there, bro. Do you know what I mean? Imagine me trying to get my fucking circumference into that place. Can you fucking imagine? Can you imagine me trying to get my fucking circumference in there? Please. Try and imagine me trying to get my fucking circumference in there, huh? Oh my fucking god. I fucking love this. Wow, wow. Honestly, one of the best things I've seen in a fucking long time. Oh shit.
Bathroom, and you have to use this shower head to shower. My goodness. That's Korea though, baby. Even like in newer places, it's still this concept of having a shower head with this small bathroom. And then, you know, your toilet's there, but you still shower inside this little small bathroom, and water hits like everything, the sink, the toilet, all that stuff.
Can you imagine that? That would be me, like, that'd be like that, what's that Ice Spice song? She's showing her panties, right? I'll be all there backed up, right? She's showing her panties. She thinks she a baddie. Ass. Shit, mate. Honestly, that is way too small for me.
So it's kind of weird, but whatever. That's how it is here. This is the kitchen area. Here's my mom. Look how tiny this refrigerator is. This is where my legs are. Look at this fridge. Super small. This looks nice though. And then here's the cabinets. There's some cups, dishes, and all.
Hey, come on, Chin, man. You're showing us cups and dishes. Like, come on. No wonder your fucking views have gone plummeting down. Like, you should have cut this shit out. Cups and dishes. Come on, broski.
All that good stuff. There's like I guess this is like a toaster oven, microwave, which is great. And no actual stove other than this electric stove. This is the main bedroom, which I have my mom and dad and my Como staying in. My mom's in here right now, so I'm not gonna film too much.
My mom's in there, I'm not gonna film too much. You already filmed the whole room. My mom's in there, I'm not gonna film too much. You showed us everything.
And then what else do we got here? Oh, here's the balcony, or the outside area. And that's all my clothes. There's a washer dryer. Oh, no, sorry, actually not a washer dryer. There's a washer there, and then we dry clothes on the hanger, which my Como did for me. So thank you, Como. And this is my bedroom. This little tiny little space.
Single bed thing, innit? Single bed thing for fucking Chin when he's here, innit? Always a single bed thing. Always a fucking single bed thing for Chin, innit? Always. You know what I mean? They knew. They didn't know there was anything else that's gonna happen there, man. Always a single super jello. It's exactly. It's some mum bedroom footage. Nah. I'm not gonna talk anymore about it because I thought that was his auntie. But that's his mum, so I'm not gonna go into, you know what I mean, what I wanted to see in there, you know what I mean? See a fucking face down, ass up and shit. Nah, we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. Oh, mate, fucking hell. Anyway, that's Chin's fucking vlog. Nice and positive, not super depressing as usual. Let's see the end bit.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Okay, so part 3 coming next Sunday. I can't wait. Are you guys eager to see part 3? All right, who's the person that didn't like them? I forgot your username, but are you ready to see part 3? Are you eager? Are you anticipating part 3? Part 3 next Sunday. It's like when fucking Game of Thrones is on. I can't wait until next week. Part 3 of Chin walking around Korea with his parents, eating random food, showing us, you know, the cupboard with cups and mugs in it, sneaky peek of his mum's bedroom, you know. Honestly, fucking hell, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, we have to end it there, my friends. We have to end it there. We have to end it there. It's now nearly fucking 5 a.m. here in London. I gotta go. So thank you for tuning in. Those of you who have tuned in, I do appreciate you completely, as per usual. It's been fucking long. It's been long. It's been brutal, but we did it. We fucking did it. Hope you enjoyed. Had some laughs here and there. For those of you checking out the show via live, please, exactly, Uche is still thinking about that bathroom. Exactly, Uche, please. Can you imagine? Uche, can you imagine? Just think about this, right? That's the type of, think it's an Airbnb first of all. That's the type of bathroom where you have to be sure the people that you're going on holiday with are cool. Because that bathroom could get dicey very quickly. That could get dicey very quickly, that bathroom. The state of that bathroom could go from manageable to almost shocking levels because of how small it is. Like, I think Asians and Korean people in general are pretty clean. They're pretty neat, to be fair. So I'm talking about the piss in the sink, so that's Brendan stuff. But for the most part, Asian people don't fuck around with their places, even if it's small. They clean them. Yeah, I mean, they're very clean. They're really orderly and organized. But can you imagine if you went on a group trip with some of your friends and they were a little bit sloppy? They maybe had a crazy night out. They maybe threw up in the sink, threw up in the bathroom after a night out. I don't know. Didn't clean the fucking floor after the shower. Whatever. It could get really gross really quickly in there. So, not for me. Not for me in the slightest. Not for me. It's nightmares tonight. Anyway, thank you so much everybody for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Please make sure you like the stream for me. If you could do me that favor, I'd be eternally grateful. Let me actually check and see. Yeah, some of you have been liking it. Okay, it's not too bad. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate the ones that have liked. If not, I'll see you guys again another time, probably in the morning. If I can have some time before I go to work, I might have to do that. If not, I might see you later in the week. But for now, thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you for everybody that's in the chat right now. Dirty Merch, I see you. Crash, I see you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you to MKCRVOJ again. Big up B. Bushma, see you. Is that how you say your name? B. Bushma. Uche, of course. Jared Mellerick. Hectic First Channel, big up you. Big fan. KC. Big up you. Mega fan, big up you. Cheese Food, Josie, big up you, of course. Loads of you in the chat here. I appreciate every single one of you. Z again, I see you. Big up your chest. Big up Z. And everybody else joining in, I appreciate you, and I'll see you all again very soon, my friends. Thank you for hanging in with me. Thank you for hanging in with me. Take care of yourselves. Peace. 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 Peace.